Should be live now. I'm gonna check on my phone.
Alright, no worries. What's running, bro? How was your guys' New Year's Eve, by the way?
Good, man. What about you?
Yeah, it's chill. Spend time with family, bro. It's nice. I didn't get to go out, but that's still good.
Okay, let's see if I
Bro,
sound good.
going out on New Year's Eve it's not hyped up. It's not what it's hyped up to be. It's just
it's chill. Spend time with family, bro.
like being in with the family is just as enjoyable, I think.
Yeah,
All right.
same.
Well,
I
all
agree
good,
with you,
boys.
bro.
All good. Audio and
What's
everything's
up,
fine.
Benji? Yeah, I'm with you. Yo, Benji, let me know if you can hear us from YouTube.
It's all good. Audio is
But
perfect, boys.
yeah, Kayman, how was your New Year's Eve, bro?
Yeah, man, it was good, bro. It was good. Didn't do much, but yeah.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Can you guys hear me?
Me neither.
Oh, you guys can't hear me. All right.
Damn, bro.
Okay, let me go and fix that. Hold on.
Classic Kayman with his different audios, bro.
Sorry,
Stream is
bro.
all good.
No worries.
All
Let me
three sound great. Oh, damn.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just can't hear.
There we go.
Came-
You guys can hear me now. There you go. That's perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are good.
Perfect, bro.
All right.
How was your New Year's Eve, Kayman?
It was good, bro.
Was
Yeah.
the vibe?
I
Time
mean,
with
I didn't do
family or
nothing,
what?
to be fair. No.
No, but that's actually a vibe sometimes, bro. You get some time off to relax.
Basically, bro, that's all I did. Relax, honestly.
100%, bro.
But everything
Damn,
is
all
working,
right.
by the way. All of it's working. Just to let you know.
Yeah?
Everything is
Alright.
working. It's all working now.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna share the link. Make sure people join.
Hmm?
Once everyone joins, we can start cooking.
100%, bro. Man, look at that league table. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
Oh, for goodness sake! Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
It does look gorgeous, though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look gorgeous.
Bro, look at this guy. This guy is so Canadian, bro. Look at him with his Liverpool flipping little
Come
jacket.
on, nice. Yeah, it's like a
Showing
little
off, bro.
varsity jacket,
He's
bro. It's the
showing off,
vibe.
bro. I'll be real, bro. He's showing off at this one.
Bro, where's the ring? Show me the ring that goes along with that flipping jacket, bro. What's going on?
Nah, Liverpool, yo, man. Like women, they've come and gone, but Liverpool's always been there, you know?
Oh, damn.
That's facts, bro. That's facts.
Women come and go. For K-Man, it's strikers come and go, but you know, Mo Salah's always there.
Oh my god.
Facts, bro.
So let's cook.
All right, let's
Yeah,
cook.
let's cook.
Yep.
All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FPL Roundtable podcast. This is going to be episode 13. And happy New Year's, boys. Hopefully we're bringing in some positive energy going into the new year. Did you guys enjoy your New Year's Eve yesterday?
Yes. I did.
Mhm.
Nice.
Another day, bro.
Honestly, it's just another day. I'll be real.
Nice. All right. Well, hopefully, the last game week was pretty solid, right? And after last week, I did just want to start off the conversation just looking at the league table, seeing if there are things that sort of jump out to you. We're at the halfway point of the season, and just wanted to see like what are your initial thoughts on how the season's gone so far? Do you think the table lies, or do you think the table shows the way things are accurately?
I wish the table was lying. No, I think the table is true to form.
So I guess the first talking point is going to be first. So Liverpool are 6 points clear of Arsenal with the game in hand. So it is looking pretty comfortable. And Arsenal have also lost their best player, and Bukayo Saka is now out for a little while. Do you think Arsenal will still be able to keep up with Liverpool, or do you think the Saka injury just sort of the gap is already 6 points, maybe even 7 with the game in hand? Now Saka is injured. Do you think there's a realistic chance Arsenal can come back, or do you think the league's sort of already over?
You can never say never. On paper, it's Liverpool's to lose. You've got the gap. You play amazing football. You've got Salah who's scoring every game, so you've got that elite player to drag you over the line. Maybe if you do put in a poor performance, you've got a solid defense when Konate's there as well. Good squad depth. Arsenal on paper losing their best players not ideal for the race, because in order to compete with a team as playing as well as that, you need all of your valuable assets available. But I think maybe they'll sign someone. I mean, today I thought they played quite well. Like I feel like there was a lot of ticky taka in and around the box, one touch play, where the ball could have just dropped through the gaps because Brentford were sitting in a low block in when Arsenal were high up the pitch. You know, they weren't bending over like Lily Phillips. Do you know what I mean? So who knows, bro? They might imagine they actually play better without Saka. How crazy would that be?
Yeah, it sounds a little bit crazy. Cayman, what are your thoughts on the gap between Liverpool and Arsenal?
I don't think it's massive, to be honest. I know you guys have a game in hand, 9 points. We've seen like 12 points lead being decimated before. We've seen 9 points, 8 points. Arsenal like just 2 seasons ago they had like 8 or 9 points lead versus City, and City came back and won that. I don't think the league is over. We could be reactionary and we could be recency biased and say that Liverpool has done it based on the recent performance. But one thing we have yet to see is Slot being tested. He has not yet been tested with adversity, and I refuse to believe that you can have a whole season where you face no adversity at all. It just seems almost too easy. I personally don't think the league is done. In my heart to heart, I don't believe that. But it does seem like it now, considering the fact that City are in a downhill. They don't seem to be recovering. And then you got the likes of Chelsea, who seem to be, they were quite, I guess, firing on all cylinders, but as of recently, they dropped points to, promoted teams as well as mid-table
Mhm.
teams, and they seem to lack experience at the back. And then you have Arsenal, who lost their best player. So it does look a bit dim right now, but you can never tell because we're still halfway in the season. We're only in January, and most of the madness starts in Feb. So I do think that when Liverpool start to hit the bad form or a bad stretch for a couple of games, there is an opportunity for the likes of Arsenal or maybe a Chelsea, where to
Mm.
basically maybe catch up. I do think those City are done, and that is the shock to me in this whole table. I did not expect to see where City is, and I also didn't expect Forest to be in the top four race. So I guess those are the
Mm.
two shock to me. I expected Chelsea to play well. I expected Newcastle, Arsenal, and Liverpool to play well. That is not a shock to me. And then obviously the elephant in the room is Manchester United. As I always like to say, with
This guy had to bring it up before I brought it up, eh?
nah, I would bring it up. I'm a man enough to face. Listen, I'll wear it on my sleeve. I want to support I want to support my club in my best days as well as the worst days. You can't be a fan when we're down. You can't be a fan when you're up. You also have to be a fan when you're down. It's about the ride, right? And the goods and the ups, like those are the experience that you want to enjoy, and that's what makes winning worth it. When you face adversity and you overcome it. Shout out to Rocky. So I'll just give a quick line for that. Basically, it's not about how hard you can, punch. It's about how hard you can get hit and come back up. So ultimately, I like to think of Manchester United as Rocky. So ultimately, we're down bad right now. We took a lot of blows, but it's all about how we get up. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and what a
Uh,
perfect way to start the year for Man United, coming up against Liverpool at Anfield, I think, as well.
That's cool. You didn't have to do him dirty like that. You just
I
gave
mean,
an
it
emotion.
could be
You just
the
gave a
that could be the
motivational speech to all Man United fans, and you just knocked him down.
that was a low blow, man. I was on the ground and they just kicked me. That's what the Canadians do. Yeah, I didn't know that, Kanji.
No, we're usually pretty polite, but at this point, I try to jab Man United fans as much as I can.
Kanji's wearing his new Liverpool like jacket that comes with a ring after you win a chip, and he's just giving you body blows. Look,
I know, bro.
he's
He's
feeling
already
extra.
celebrating. I can see champagne underneath his table right now. There's definitely some champagnes there, some championship hats and whatnot. He's already celebrating. He thinks he's done already. Guys, just to give a bit of background while we have this league table, it's up on the great request of, if you didn't guess already, Kan just requested specifically. He wants the table and he wants to discuss it. And not only that, he wants that to be the start of the pod. Just to let you guys know, look how happy this guy is. I need Adil
Of
in this chat.
course.
I need Adil to be, calling this guy out, man.
I
Of
do want
course.
to ask a question though, a formal question with regards to this, and we can just do it quickly. Do you, which teams do you think will finish in the top four? Slow. Which teams do you think will finish in the top five, and which three teams do you think will get relegated?
So going back to where I was, where I predicted in preseason, I had Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, and Spurs in fourth, and Chelsea for fifth. But that Spurs prediction is way off. They just cannot keep up with all the games. Their defense is horrible, too many injuries. I don't even think they'll be in the top six. Now, given the way the football has sort of been played out, top five, I think, pick themselves with Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea. If Man City go out into the January transfer window and invest and buy some midfielders, I would put them in the conversation as well for like fourth, and I think I put Forest fifth. The question is like, do you think Forest can keep up their performances? I mean, their defensive data is very solid. Their attack is okay, but Chris Wood is such a lethal finisher. He gets like one chance, then he scores it, and then allows them to just sit deep and not have to worry about it. But if he was to like miss chances here and there, and they weren't scoring enough goals, then they would drop points. But do you think Forest can keep it up?
Mm, if they can keep their defense healthy, then I think why would the defensive numbers change? I think Murillo is arguably a Champions League centre back, could play for a top six team, and I think Milenkovic is also very solid. He could probably play in European competition. So Ollie Aina, I think Man City want him, and the left wing back. I think the left side's probably their weakness, to be honest. But even then, Moreno, he was playing at Villa last season in Villarreal, so he's got experience and good quality there. Can't remember the other one. My memory's escaping me. Sells is a solid keeper for them. Chris Wood, lethal finisher, and then they stick to their guns. They've got players who are quick on the counter attack. They understand the picture. It's like, you know how in an orchestra they're all following the orchestra. I forgot what they're called. I sound like an idiot right now, but they're all
They follow the conductor, yeah.
following the conductor, and it's like the manager's telling them what to do, and they're all sticking to the plan and they're executing it. None of them are playing selfishly in front of goal. Like if Chris Wood's there, they play it to him. They look for him in the box. They play to his strengths. The whole team's playing to each other's strength. I would say top five: Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, and Newcastle. I do expect Forest to maybe finish sixth,
Wow.
top
I like
seven.
that show. Yeah, I mean, you got to give some respect to Newcastle. They've really improved defensively recently, as well as Isak, bro. This guy, he's so good at football, man. I don't know. It's not even just him. It's like, think about their midfield, right? First of all, they only play once a week. They don't have to deal with the European football. And then that midfield is solid when it's fit. You have Bruno Guimaraes, who's like a really good midfielder. Like everyone in the world would take them in their team. And you've got like Sandro Tonali, the guy that came from Italy after his betting ban, he's picked up form. He's playing very well. They have Joe Linton, like who's like a box to box mid. They even have that guy playing in the right wing, that Murphy guy. He's been scoring a lot of goals too. And Anthony Gordon's back on the left hand side where he belongs, and he's been cooking. Isak is arguably the second best striker in the league at this point. So they have a great team. I don't know about the coach, but at this moment, like they're doing well. That's a really good shout. I think they could finish top six too. That's what makes it so tough. Like if there's that's the thing, right? Like now that Saka has picked up the injury, it's like are Arsenal a lock for like second? Or do you think like there's someone else I could push to challenge Liverpool? Like maybe it's Forest, maybe. I don't know.
In regards to my top four or top five, would you guys say top five or top four?
Top
Top
five.
five, top
Top five. I would say obviously Liverpool, Arsenal, given, and then the other three. Obviously, right now it looks like Forest, but I think Chelsea has the talent and the depth to be able to keep up. I would say Chelsea, and then City. I still think City will somehow, get top five. And then the fifth spot is between, for me, it could be between Forest and Bournemouth. So, sorry, no, sorry, Newcastle and Bournemouth. So Newcastle and Forest, sorry. That's what it could be. But I think I respect Man City too much, as well as Chelsea and Arsenal, to not have them a lock. I'd say Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal are a lock, and then the fifth spot is between Forest and Newcastle.
Okay. So we're sort of in agreement there, basically.
Yeah.
What about in the bottom half, like the bottom three teams to potentially get relegated? What do you guys think about that?
I just keep it simple. I think the bottom three currently who are down there now will be relegated, and people can be in this pod. I thought this was about FPL. I do think sometimes the table completely does relate to FPL. For example, Nottingham Forest, like the likes of Chris Wood, like and the defense, they're assets you want to invest in because they're clearly performing, and you could argue to an extent there's more motivation than ever now to really keep performing and maybe get a European spot. So realistically, the performances should stay at a high level. So there may be assets worth investing. Sometimes you can look at goals conceded, look at the form, and these little things can all help you make decisions to when you're looking at assets to target, fixtures to target when you're looking to captain an asset. These are all things that can help you make these decisions.
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely. I think there's kind of something that's gonna. I wanted to bring it up. I didn't want to like be really rude, but the fact that Chelsea lost to Ipswich, it was bad for like the title race, but it was really interesting for the relegation battle now. Because if you look at the point difference between like Leicester, Ipswich, Everton, Wolves, it's not that much. It's basically one win. That's what separates them. Now I know Sean Dyche will find a way to get the job done, but his best player in Dwight McNeil has been injured. I don't even think he's been in training either. So they're in free fall in a way. I don't know if they'll score enough goals. They'll probably keep enough clean sheets, but I don't think they'll get any wins really, unless they score a goal off a set piece. Then I have to say West Ham. It wouldn't surprise me if they fell further down in the table. Owen's out for another 2 months. They've already been pretty poor. I'm surprised the coach hasn't been sacked at this point right now. So I think that's like the saving grace for Man United, really. It's like even Man United are technically being pulled into the relegation battle. I mean, the coach even brought it up. Like the coach Amarin said, like we're like, we're in the relegation battle now, and it's pretty nuts. Like, Cayman, what are your thoughts on that, bro?
So that's what we're doing now, yeah. That's another kick while the man is down. No problem. Um, as I like to say, we're the biggest club in the world, and no matter what anyone says, we're not getting relegated. That's a fact. It's all joke and fun, whatever, but we're not getting relegated. I understand the table says X, Y, and Z, but ultimately, I don't believe that. We're too big to get relegated. I think what we'll be doing in January is maybe sell a bunch of our players who are washed up and make some money, and then maybe reinvest that money and buy a couple more players and maybe make a bit of a run. But ultimately, I don't think there's a chance for us to get top four. I think it's a bit of a pipe dream right now. In terms of the which are three teams will get relegated, I think Ipswich could low-key make an upset. I know a lot of people predict probably them to go down with the likes of Leicester and Southampton, which I think they'll probably go out. Even with the new manager, Leicester don't look too good. And Southampton has lost too many games already. So I'd probably say Southampton, Leicester, and then it's between maybe Ipswich. But Wolves does look good though with Cunha. I mean, he looks phenomenal. So maybe it's between Wolves and Everton for the third spot, as well as Ipswich. Three teams get relegated, right? So it's between those three.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
do
not
want to
sure.
quick.
Go on.
I did want to quickly bring up. You see, obviously, this season's been very interesting in the sense that there's been quite a divide in skill between the teams who are promoted and the rest of the league, and it's enabled us to really target those fixtures, even with the likes of Mbumo and Bowens, and now your SARS and Eze's, right? Like, there's been quite a disparse quality in newly promoted teams. But what I would say now is, I think we're getting to the point of the season where it's the Southamptons and the Ipswich of the world that the maybe not as maybe the lessons have finally been learned from the manager is what I'm trying to say, and they're not playing as naively. Obviously, Chelsea just lost to Ipswich. Arsenal only scored one goal. They were set up in a very low block. Maybe the goals, like the 5-0 thumpings, will dry up. Of course, they'll still get battered every now and then, but I don't think they're necessarily a team that you can just all out now say, yeah, I'm expecting a 6-0 battering, and let me triple up. Maybe like even Southampton, the managers changed, the Wolves managers changed. Like, these teams are down there for a reason because they had a poor start, but a lot of them have new managers now, and the teams that have the same manager are switching up the style to be a bit more defensively solid because every point counts at this point in the season.
But
So it's
Leicester,
just
I think Leicester hasn't changed though. I think Leicester's still terrible,
I think
personally.
Leicester defensively are worse, and
Yeah, I
they're
think they're
definitely
worse.
target
Yeah,
100%. They
Leicester is
shocking.
100% the target, and then I think Ipswich even at their crib is there to target. I feel like Chelsea just didn't play well. I think Ipswich at home they play a bit more expansive, and we've seen what Newcastle have done to them at their crib because they play from the back and whatnot. I do think Ipswich can be also targeted to an extent. Maybe not away from home, but definitely at their home. I was just
I,
shocked with Chelsea result, honestly, bro. Honestly, that I did not see that coming.
I think the teams high up the table, like you see your Spurs and your Man City, like I think so. Like, or for example, Isak plays Tottenham. I think Tottenham right now and Man City are probably like some of the best fixtures for attacking assets in your team right now, in the sense of the chances they give up, like, and the way the game is. Like, you just know it's going to be an attacking game, and your attackers are going to have a lot of space to exploit, and they're probably going to get big chances. Like, look what Salah got versus Tottenham and Man City.
Even Brighton is a fixture to target though, because they're also quite like exposed at the back.
West Ham, West Ham
West
for
Ham
sure.
as well. Yeah,
Like West Ham, my goodness.
yeah. I don't think you target Bournemouth and Fulham though. Those are difficult ones. Bournemouth, Fulham, the likes of I guess even Brentford at their crib. I don't know. I'm not sure if you target them.
Well, Arsenal
Uh,
scored 3 today, and
that's true.
we all
That's true.
they don't have Saka, and secondly, their open play XG has not been the best this season. So, and I think Arsenal played well today. They probably could have scored more.
Yeah,
So, and the trend has always been at the G-Tech end-to-end game. Brentford really go at it, and it's a good fixture for attacking assets.
yeah, that's true.
United, like, this is a big talking point, and obviously we could maybe jump ahead, but I'm just talking about Mo Salah captaincy because, in
Mm.
my opinion,
Do we move on?
I think in my opinion, from obviously the eye test and I think even data, Tottenham defense, Tottenham playing Tottenham is a great fixture to captain a talisman like your Salah, your Palmer. This week is Alexander Isak, but at the same token, Salah's playing United at Old Trafford. Hey man, you're a United fan. You watched the Newcastle game. Do you really think Salah can get a 13 point versus this United team at Old Trafford? What do you guys think?
If I'm being honest, like I said similar things for the Newcastle game. I thought, look, if we go in there, it's to say, you know what, we want to we want to play a bit more safe. If we're playing safe, I do think we have the personnel to basically, close the shops and maybe park the bus and get a maybe either a 1-1 or a 0-0 versus any team in the league. If we really decide to close shops, because I do think we have a strong defense. However, Anfield is a different beast. No matter how much of a big of a bus you park, they'll find a way to score. In terms of Salah's getting a hole, he does have a tendency in history of getting a hole versus United. So I wouldn't be shocked if he does. I think he will be um, heavily favored to get a hole. But at the same time, I do believe like that we have a very strong defense, and if we were to close shops, we could, I guess, potentially somewhat minimize his impact, and maybe he doesn't get a hole, rather maybe either an assist or a goal at best. But I it could get worse, so it could be. I don't want to say what I. It could also get really bad.
I'm
But
curious to hear Kanji's thoughts on this.
yeah,
You're muted, Kanji.
Yeah, the advantage for Salah captain is like you always get the game state in your favor. Almost never have Liverpool conceded first. Like, I rarely remember them conceding first. And even when they do, they turn it up a level. They have that
Leicester,
ability to do that.
his first versus Leicester.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's say it's happened like twice. Like I think we even conceded first versus Southampton as well. But usually we don't. And so because of that, it's like, the teams they think they have a chance maybe, or like we've already scored and they have to push forward. Like you always get the game state. That's the advantage of having a good attack and a good defense. So that's like one of the biggest pros of going for Mo. And as soon as Liverpool score the first goal versus Manu, it doesn't even matter who it is, Diaz, Gakpo, or Mo, Manu will have to push up and they'll get destroyed on the counter. Like I've seen it 100 times already. Like there's no way I'm gonna be going against Salah for captain this week. But I want to say that last year it was a very defensive game under Ten Hag, and we didn't even score a single goal. But it's like I said, it all comes down to game state, right? So I do expect us to score early, and that's why I'm going to be at mocap. I think he'll even. There was a stat that I was looking at since game week 7, since 2017, 2018. Mo Salah has more yellow cards for taking his shirt off after scoring goals, which happened twice, than Man United have scoring goals at Anfield. That's mad. So it just goes to show you if you have any Liverpool assets, whether it's like offensively, because Man U defense is not good, or defensively, you're in for a good game week. Like it's Man U are there to be targeted. I don't mean to be rude. I just have to say how it is. So yeah,
I think it's could this be a bit outcome biased though? Because analytical managers, if you look at United's data, like over like since Amram's come in, the data hasn't been that bad, but yet United still keep finding a way to concede 2 or 3 goals. Like rare, I've not really seen United data wise with Delit starting a game where they've conceded, like 2 xg, 3 xg in a game.
But majority of those goals have come from either corners or set pieces, though. Even the versus Newcastle, it was from set piece. The goal that we considered from Joe Linton.
And then
So
Lewis Hall was a cross, wasn't it?
yeah, it's crosses. So we're losing a lot of set piece battle now. Whether it's due to a lot of people are obviously, I guess pointing the finger toward Lisandro Martinez being short and whatnot, but that didn't affect him last season. Why is all of a sudden now his height is a factor, right? Why
Mm.
is he marking Joe Linton, who's literally a 7 foot beast, right? I don't know. Um, While we're losing set pieces, I just think the coach needs to do a better job. It's on the coach again, so I'd say Amram needs to figure it out. You know, under Ten Hag,
Facts.
Martinez wasn't that exposed. We weren't considering that many set pieces goals. People weren't singing corner, 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 corner. What are you doing, Amram? Fix it, sort it out. So ultimately, it's gonna go back to him. As much as we want to say, he's been put in a really bad situation. We've seen managers, plenty of managers, come into a bad situation and improve a team. Wolves is the great example. Look at Wolves right now; they're flying. They're flying, and that's
Mm,
literally a relegation team. They're literally flying with a new manager, with personnels. I guess if you compare their personnel and our personnel, we have 10 times better players than what they have. They have Cunha and Nate Norrie. Who else do
yeah.
they have? No one.
That
Yeah.
that the Andre is good for them, the centre mid, but not they don't have as many good talents as you. Like, let's be honest, you guys just won the FA Cup, but let's not get into
Bro,
that.
we
Like,
have, we have Casemiro 5 times or 4 times Champion League winner. We have the likes of freaking Lisandro Martinez, World Cup champion. We have champions in our team. We have Maino, who played in the biggest stages of the stages. We have Ericsson, who's got so much experience. We have Maguire, who played so many great games. We have experience, wealth of experiences. We cannot say that Wolves have a better personnel than us, which obviously someone was trying to debate on X. Now, ultimately, bro, it's not an excuse for Amram to say, I've been put in a bad situation. What do you want me to do? No, you need to figure it out, mate. If your idea is going to get us relegated, that's not good enough. Adapt, mate. The biggest thing a human being can do is adapt. And right now,
yeah,
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that from him. We've been considering set pieces goal after every week, every week. What are you training? What are you coaching these guys?
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough situation, especially with Bruno out. I mean, when you look at the midfield that you guys played, it was Ericsson, Casemiro versus like Linton, Bruno Gomes. Like that's terrible, bro. Like I knew you guys were gonna get overruns from the lineups, bro. Like
yeah.
it is what it is. Like I'm sure you'll have a better performance.
Ericsson and Casemiro in the midfield that is my concern for the Liverpool game, because Liverpool's midfield is quality, and the way they press. You got McAllister, Gravenberch, Jones when he comes in, he does a great job. Soberslai's ability to cover ground is obscene. Like if you just look at his heat map, you'll see that guy covers nearly as much ground as N'Golo Kante in his prime. It's
Would
it's
you,
ridiculous.
would you guys be shocked if Van Dijk is ahead of versus us? I think that's the most
No.
predicted score.
But this,
I feel like we don't concede that many, like on play goals, man. Like I see where Stark is coming from. Like we haven't been getting like most of our goals are from set pieces. So if anyone from Liverpool scores, it's the strikers, the likes of Gakpo, or the likes of Diaz or Jota, whoever plays striker. When those crosses come in and they header in, basically, because we literally are terrible at it right now.
I'd like to think that I'd like to think Amorim does not go to Anfield with Liverpool's form and go, let's go gung ho and attack them crazy and play a really high line.
That's
Because if he
impossible. He's
does
not
that,
doing that. It's
it's
impossible.
suicide, and you'll lose respect from United. You can't lose this derby 5-0. It's unacceptable. Like United, this is one of the biggest derbies in Manchester history. You can't lose at Anfield 5-0. You have to play with pride, and I think the
Mm.
players will know this. We've seen so many times in the past where a team can be terrible, but when it comes to a derby or a big game, the players, there's extra motivation in training. They're playing for the fans. The managers give them a kick up the arse. And when I look at all those factors, I do look at alternatives this week. Obviously, Salah is the perma cap right now, but I think you'll be foolish not to look at all of your
Consider.
options and consider,
Yes.
is there an alternative? And I do think Isak versus Tottenham, with all the injuries they've got and the football they play, no matter what, they could be 4-0 up, they could be 4-3 up in the 80th minute. They play the same way every single time. They play a high line. It's end-to-end football. Newcastle are in great form. Isak's the talisman. He's got so many routes to points. He's got creative threat pens. He's in great form. Is he an alternative that you would consider, or is it just permacat mode? Don't overthink it.
Oh no, he's definitely an alternative, bro. He's the number one alternative if you go against him. I just if I'm honest, you got to take a step back and look at what Salah's done this year. I mean, he's already at what 200 FPL points or something ridiculous already, double-digit goals and assists already. He's basically on he's on way to set a Premier League record for like the most goals and assists in a season. What's the point of going against him? Manchester United is his most favorite opponent of all time. There's nothing to really do. He's at home. I just can't. I can't recommend it to anyone else. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
He's for sure an alternative, and I think he's a very good alternative. But the thing is, we saw when he did have score a hat trick, Salah went out there and basically got 4 or 5 returns. So even if Isak's ceiling is a hat trick, Salah is still somehow managing that with a goal and an assist. It's the fact that the position that they play. I don't like to go against Salah with a striker. It's just simply like there's more routes. I mean, I know Isak has more routes to points. It's just that there is more bonuses for the likes of Salah, as well as he gets extra point for a clean sheet, as well as extra points for goals. So there are too
Yeah,
many
it's
things
nuts.
going for Salah to go against him using a striker. On the other hand, the perfect player I do think though to go against him is Palmer, but he's also not been really been that explosive this season. Um, so yeah,
Man though. The time Salah got that massive haul when Isak got a hat trick, it was against Tottenham. And if you, let's use Liverpool as a guide right now, right? Because this is the team Salah plays for. They scored 6 goals past Tottenham, right? And they scored 5 past West Ham. And I think in both games, like it was the same. It was like you're watching play the same team. They're just so in form.
I hear you.
Like so, all I'm saying is
Yeah,
I'm not set. I'm just not ruling it out completely. But it feels like a no-brainer to go for Salah versus Man United because Man United.
yeah.
So
I feel like if I was in the millions, ranked millions, and I needed to chase, I've said that almost every week, and I needed to make up rank. For example, what Kanji done last week. I don't want to give a. Do you mind Kanji if I say it?
Yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course, of
So
course.
basically, Kanji went with Palmer captaincy, and I'll be honest with you, complete to my heart, like hand to my heart. I did not think it was a bad decision. Before the outcome, I don't think it was a bad decision because of where the position that he is in. If he's going to continuously captain with a template pick, he's not going to gain that much. So he had to, pick his opportunities. And Palmer versus Ipswich away, who love to play expansive football, it is a great opportunity. And it wasn't just Kanji. There are many great managers went there. The likes of Fran and others. Like Fran finished 435 in the world last season. So these are not, scrubs. These are really good managers that are betting against Salah, even at a good rank. And Kanji is in 1 million. I'm not even trying to take a slight at you.
Mm.
So he had
Yeah,
to
no, I know, I know.
he had to basically take a risk ultimately, and it didn't pay off. But I didn't mind the risk. It was a calculated risk. He went against Salah with the palm of Ipswich. It makes sense. Whereas I understand stock is over for you, Isak. Like if someone is in the rank 1 million and they want to go against Salah and take it with Isak, I just think there is more extra risk compared to Palmer because, as I said, there's no extra points for clean sheet. There's no extra points for. He's not a bonus point magnet like Salah is or Palmer is. He's also doesn't get clean sheet points. So these are the things I feel like Salah has going for him, makes it even more
Mhm.
risky to go against him with an Isak. I don't know if I explained that very well, to be honest.
Yeah, you did. And like the thing is, like when you watched what Salah did versus West Ham, he should have had 30 points.
yeah,
Like
should
he
have
actually should
Yeah,
honestly.
have had 30 points. And like I went against him and I was watching the game and I had to like literally turn the game off at a certain point. I was like, I gotta go because I can't watch this anymore. Like it was so hard to watch if you don't captain him. And it could be the same versus Man U, bro. Like his biggest halts have come against them. It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I do think they play more respectable than Tottenham and West Ham.
I agree with that. I agree
Yeah,
with that. To be fair.
fair,
But
fair.
West Ham, but at the same time, though, you have to understand, though, Stark, you never know. Newcastle is an unpredictable team, right? I know they're hitting their blue patch right now, but away from home, they can be really dodgy as well. They're very dodgy away from home.
I
I've seen
I
this movie
agree.
before.
I agree, but I don't think that's the case versus this Tottenham team. I'm
Yeah,
Fair
sorry.
enough.
They're going
Fair
to
enough.
get 5 big chances minimum.
Fair enough.
yeah. Isak's gonna get at least 1 or 2 returns. Like there's no doubt.
I
I
only
just feel the
recommend
same
it
way
if you are
about
really
Mount.
chasing badly. Only then, otherwise, I wouldn't. 'Cause,
That's your doggy. That's your doggy out for a few months. There's no news on Van de Ven or Romero back. Like, who have they signed in the transfer market? They played so many games with the same team. They just conceded 2 goals to like. But I think we should move on because
yeah,
we've covered this more than enough.
yeah, fair
No
enough.
problem.
So just
No
going back
problem.
to the very beginning, in terms of talking of forwards, which is the best 3 forwards you guys think in the game, or best trio forwards in the game right now in FPL?
I think Isak is the obvious one that stands out, right? I mean, like we have like the just a reminder to people that don't have these players in your team. Isak, Salah, Palmer, and Trent. And we do we all agree Gabriel's in that conversation as like the best picks in the game?
Gabriel who? Jesus.
Oh, here we go.
You know, my boy,
No,
you know what they said, Stock? They said, oh, he just can't score. He's a bad pick. But go on, Stock.
Who do I think the best three? I think there's two that pick themselves, and that two is Sir Chris Wood, who I benched, SMH. Someone slap me with a wet fish, please. And Isak. Those two for me pick themselves. And the third one, I think you could literally go with anyone, man. Like, there's a few people who went with Watkins. Shout out them. Benji in the stream, he's been high on Watkins. And Watkins obviously delivered. They've got good fixtures. For me, it is a short term move, and if you've got the transfers, it's already paid off. So congratulations on that. I just don't like the fact there's such a good striker in Duran who's competing with him, and literally before that game, Duran was starting and scoring and playing amazing. So
yeah.
don't
His
like,
only goal was a pen though. But
yeah, but he's got
he
pens.
played well. He did play well though. He did play
It,
really
it's
well. It wasn't
it's
just
so
that.
annoying because they're such a good team, and for me, it's like if either one of Isak or Duran was out, I'd immediately get one of them in. Like for long, if Duran was out long term, like a month or two, I'd want Watkins in my team. But it's with the Champions League schedule coming back and the competition, it's just such an annoying pick. It's a bit like Diaz and Jota and Gakpo, like such a great attack, but they're competing with really good players, and you don't know who's nailing the spot because Slot rotates. But whenever they play, they get points.
I
It's
want to
crazy.
mention something on that Watkins Stock. I don't know if you know, the FA has asked Durant to give explanation for his antics after he got the red card, so there might be a ban coming. Because in the Newcastle game, when he did get a red card, there was a situation where I think he did something wrong. I didn't watch the videos, but the FA has asked him to maybe justify. So we see how that went with Kudus, with Cunha, they all got banned. So maybe there's a potential banning coming as well. So maybe that also increases Watkins's, I guess, lifeline for being nailed in the next three. So what are your thoughts on that?
I just want to wait until after the Arsenal away and Everton away game. I don't like those two fixtures for any attacker. I can't justify, as I'm a fixture first manager, I can't justify bringing in a player before those two fixtures. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'll assess the landscape after those two fixtures, and hopefully we have more information. Obviously, I own Jesus, Wood, and Isak. That's my trio right now. Jesus has just paid dividends. They've still got good fixtures. I honestly think Cunha is probably the best third striker in the game. He's
Oh,
proved that this season when he's got the fixtures, he's got so many routes to points, and he passes the eye test, and he's the talisman. It's just a shame the fixtures dry up now, but I think what you want now is to just fill that third place with like a Wissa maybe or a Jesus, whoever you want, whatever fixtures you like until game week 29, and then bring Cunha back in and just keep him till the end of the season.
so would you like to do like a Cunha Wood Isak, or would you be replacing a Wood with an
Nah,
Cunha?
I'd own all three.
Wow, damn. So you just think those are just the three best then,
Yeah,
arguably, in
I,
your
I
mind?
just I just like to own all the talisman from as many teams as possible, and I think all three of them fit the bill.
Yeah, makes
That makes
sense.
sense. For me,
Yeah.
I think it's Isak, and I think for me, I would still go for Jackson because Watkins we're not sure on the fixtures on there. I would still go this week if I was to pick the best three, Jackson, and then I'll probably say Wood, Chris Wood. I know I have Jesus in my team. It's just that I'm not sure how long that pick will last. The minute his purple patch is gone, he has one or two, bad performances. He might be off the starting lineup, and it's just a ticking time bomb. So I can't put him there. He's not really a talisman, nor is he nailed for 90 minutes. So I'd say probably Jackson. Although Jackson has been, recently rotated, but I do feel like Jackson does get way more chances compared to the other strikers, and the quality behind him is just insane. So for him to not, I guess, for him to be a bad pick, he has to basically continue to fumble those big chances. And if I see that in
Mm.
the next two, he may not be in my top three, and then I could easily see the likes of maybe a Wissa come in there, or even Watkins if he keeps his place come in there. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm gonna put Pedro as like I think he is my favorite of all the strikers in the
Oh,
game.
fuck's God.
So like there's so much hate for JP. I think it was what like 9 returns in 12 games, and that includes like 3 appearances where you played like 20 minutes just based on injuries. Like it's nuts. Like you just have to own him and just put him on your bench, whatever. There's gonna be people that like got João Pedro off the bench because they had like Havertz in their team or something like that, or even like a midfielder that didn't play, like a Bruno Fernandes. You have JP as like your third attacker, sorry, your eighth attacker. You're chilling. Like he's just John Pedro's the goat, bro. I actually love him as an FPL pick at his price. So, yeah, that for me, it's like Isak and JP are my favorites, like season long holds. And then the third spot is where I'm gonna flip between Wood and Cunha in the future. What's interesting is like there's no right or wrong answer, bro. Like all these guys are good picks. Like look at Jesus. He's playing Brighton. Brighton have a high line. He's probably going to score versus them. And then he's playing Spurs. They have a high line. He's probably going to score versus them. Like there's so many good like FPL picks in the game. You just have to like back your horse and go for the players that you trust. It's just with Jesus. I don't even know if his minutes are good, bro. Like if Havertz comes back, like he was ill today, but if he's back, is he the one that drops out? I don't think Arteta can drop him at this point. But he can't drop Martinelli either. So who's dropping to put Havertz back in the team?
Was Trossard not bench today?
Yeah,
He
it
was
was.
benched. Yeah,
So there we go.
they
That's who
played
drops out.
Ethan. No, but he was benched already. They played Ethan Wanyeri on the right,
Yeah,
Martinelli on
but
the left, Jesus up top.
yeah, but Trossard has been used to being benched, right? Even Havertz have been benched this season, and we know one thing about Arteta is when Jesus is on form, he's not gonna get benched. So what happens with Jesus is once we see 1 or 2 bad performances, we know his time is up. So there is a window where you get rid of him, and you gotta always plan for him, and that's why I think I advise people to maybe roll as much transfer as possible, especially now where the AM chip is in the play, the Liverpool double in the coming in the future. We don't know what the blank is gonna be in 29. I think it's so valuable to save your transfers now, and I personally need to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, if these strikers all dry up, there always is like Cody Gakpo as like a crazy differential shout because I do believe he's first choice now. Like Diaz, Gakpo, Salah does feel like the best Liverpool front three. Let's see what happens in the Man United game and in the Nottingham Forest game. I do feel like the Nottingham Forest match is actually going to be Liverpool's best 11. Whatever lineup slot plays in that game will dictate a lot of what I think about the team going forward. But yeah, I think we've talked the strikers to death. I know we disagree on like the JP vibes a little bit here and there, but let's see how that evolves. Like I'm even starting him this week
all
against
right.
Arsenal.
When you say
Yeah.
let's see how that evolves, what's your expectation of JP exactly this season? How many goals?
Um, I don't even know, bro. Like one return every two, like 2 returns every 3 games would be ideal. That's basically what I want. I mean, he's 5.5 as a striker. He has like 9 returns in 12 without a single pen yet. Like
Oh,
that's
this
amazing.
narrative is just to suit you. Is just to justify you owning him, because number one, no one really owned JP because he made a cameo off the bench versus Man City because he was injured. No one really owned him, and if they did, he was on the bench. So no one got those points unless there was extremely fluky bench jam, right? And then the ownership went up for the Bournemouth game, but even then, people didn't have the planning. They didn't know when he was back properly. So a lot of people didn't own him for those returns either. They probably maybe benched him again. And ever since he's blanked, and then yesterday he got an assist where he barely touched it. When you watch him play, he plays CDM and has no goal for it. Like for me, like you play him. If you're in a benching headache, you'll find yourself starting him because he's on pens, and yet they've not had one pen all season. For
And
me, I think there's better picks in the game considering now we've got more money and Saka's injured.
yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
that's a
that, and I
fair
also
point.
want to echo that with João Pedro. I think it's a bit of a trap in a sense where I'm not trying to criticize the pick. He does provide exceptional value for his money. That's why we all owned him, and nor am I trying to take slight at people that own him. I, as an owner myself, I do give a player a particular amount of time, a window before they have, their time expires in my team. And I've done the same with DCO. I've done that with the likes of Dilap, and I've also done that with João Pedro. And I'm probably going to do the same thing with Jesus. And it just depends on your manager's style, right? I think I can't basically have a player who I think is a trap in a sense where, oh, he has such a good fixture and he's on pens, I have to start him. And that's where I found myself a lot of the time in the last 2 to 4 game weeks. And I kept on starting him even though there was no output. So ultimately, I addressed that issue by getting rid of him and bringing in a better asset. And for now, it does seem to work out slightly. But on the long run, let's see how that goes. And for me, it has benefited me this season, actually, the way I've been approaching the game. So, yeah.
We didn't even talk about Mateta or Solanke, who I do think, by the way, viable options, especially like look, Solanke. Spurs attack is lethal and they scored loads of goals. So, but the goal shares a lot and there is rotation. But there's two players in that team that don't seem to get rotated, and those two are Solanke and Kulu. So if you
Mhm.
think there's not a great third option, like shout out FPL Emil, who joins our spaces and doing really well. He has Solanke and he's been raving about him. He's a big differential. Not many people own him. He does tick along. He's not the most explosive, but you know things can change. The picture can change. He's not the worst asset to own if you want a nailed attacker from the Spurs team.
I
Yeah,
do want to
that
mention
makes sense.
something about Zubi. You mentioned JP is 5.7. People expecting holes every week, get a better squad to rotate with him. Here's the issue, mate. Even if you have a better squad to rotate with him, say for the likes of Enzo, Ahmad, and whatnot, those guys don't have pen. JP is the only guy within that price bracket and the lap to have pens. So when you have the dilemma between the likes of Enzo and Ahmad, who do you bench? You don't bench João Pedro because the narrative is and the unwritten rule in FPL is you start the pen ticker, which I have done on many occasions. So it's a trap in that sense. So you have to understand other managers' perspective. Not everyone would understand. Not everyone would manage their team just how you think. There are other managers have a
Yeah.
different thought process as to how they think about a particular team and their approach to the game. So my approach is if I'm going to start a player in my starting 11, he has to be providing output regardless of his price and whatnot. Especially with the likes of if someone is in my forward position when I have wealth of options. There's so many options we can see, guys. I'm not like it's not like JP is the only option I have.
Yeah,
Shout
of
out
course.
asset on this list, Liam Delap from Ipswich, who's on pens. I think he passes the eye test amazingly well, and this is not just outcome bias. Obviously, the pen knowing that he's on pens is recency bias because we just learned that fact. But he looks so good, and I think their fixtures are underrated. They've got Southampton, Spurs, and Man City, I think, on the horizon, and all three good fixtures that suit their play style of counter attacking. So I think
Mm.
he's better than JP personally.
Yeah, me
If
too.
Yeah,
JP,
Yeah.
go on, Kanji.
it's
Go
interesting.
on.
It's interesting because Delap actually has Southampton at home when JP has Nottingham Forest away. So he could actually be a really good like rotation piece,
Yep.
like where you just play one of those cheap strikers and then you play a lot of money into the midfield and you play a 3-5-2 formation. So I'm looking at that myself, but I just don't know how much I really like Delap. Like the thing is, I've talked to a lot of people that are like Man City fans and they really rate him. I talked to Sark, I talked to K-Man. You guys rate him as a player too. I don't know if I do.
In
That's the
terms of
thing.
number
And I
nine, I'm sorry, it's not close. In terms of football, forget FPL points and whatnot. In terms of pure number nine, JP is not a number nine. He's a 10. So if
yeah,
you're talking about striker specifically, Delap is a better striker from eye test, from footballing perspective. If you watch the game, you will know that it's a fact. In regards to FPL perspective, though, I do have to add the caveat that JP does have a bit more of an assist threat compared to Delap. So JP does win in
yeah,
that scenario, as well as the fact that JP does play for a better team, which has more depth and who does create for him, and they can obviously create chances for each other. And he also may have better finishers in his team. The problem with Dulap is he has a team around him that may not be at the same quality or level of Brighton that players that JP has. So in that sense, JP might get an edge. So it's good to add context in that scenario. But in terms of just pure striker, who's a better striker? It is Delap. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
100%.
there's
The lap's going to get a big move for sure. Like I wouldn't even be
mhm,
surprised if it's Chelsea. But I know Maresca's hyped him up in the media, and our scouts have been scouting him. So that's one to keep a lookout for. But I do think he's the focal point of Ipswich. He's almost a talisman.
Yeah.
mhm,
If you look at the goal like share, the bar chart, I don't know whose graphic it is. You'll see the laps right at the front with Leif Davis. So he is a talismanic player for them. And I think that he's the focal point. So all the counter attacks they lead to him. Um, my issue with JP is people are like Benji saying he's a perma play. That's an issue for me. If JP is a perma play, you're going to go through a lot of game weeks where he gets you no points. If he's an eighth
yeah,
attacker, fair enough. He's a good eighth attacker. But the moment he's a perma play, it's a no go for me because he's actually playing as the 9 for Brighton, and I prefer him as the 10 when Welbeck's there. When does Welbeck come back? I think he'll improve as the 10
yeah,
when Welbeck's back, but I don't know when Welbeck's
yeah.
back.
Yep.
Basically, you're saying he's a good asset to own as long as you look at him like he's a rotation player in your team. And I
Yeah.
agree. Makes
Should we
sense.
move on to
So
best Cunha replacement? Because I don't obviously. I think we were talked
100%.
about it anyways. You slightly
100%.
covered
Wait,
it.
there was one thing I did want to mention in this sort of bracket. Like you'll ask yourself, like, should I play a 3-5-2 formation or a 3-4-3? And like what we were just talking about, if we went to a delap, would push us to like a 3-5-2 formation. And I think you can do that if you have a lot of squad value. But I think if you don't, one way to sacrifice having like another premium midfielder is to just have that third 6.5 striker, whether that's going to be Wood or Cunha long term. And I think that is something to really just emphasize. Like if I had the squad value, I would be in a 3-5-2, but I don't. So I'm in a 3-4-3.
Fair enough. Best Cunha
All
replacement. We
right.
already talked about it, obviously, but you guys want to quickly touch on it this week if you were to switch someone?
Well, if you don't own Wood, it's almost a no-brainer, to be honest.
Okay, Chris Wood. And obviously Isak, a no-brainer if you don't want them. Agree, Kanji?
Jackson, great fixtures. I think he's Chelsea, like with Nkunku up front. Nkunku's not a striker, so Jackson will get high volume of chances. But
Exactly.
Wissa's fixtures are good. It's just, can you trust Brentford? Who knows? But Wissa's a very good finisher. He's got a good conversion rate. They're very expensive at home. Scored a lot of goals at home, and I think Brentford have got some good fixtures there. To be fair, like West Ham, Leicester, Tottenham. Like you bench versus Liverpool, and you could start him in every other game.
I like
Yeah.
Wood
Like,
#1, Jackson 2, and Jesus is a punt if you want to go there. And Isak is a no-brainer. If you don't have Isak, you get him in, of course.
yeah. I mean, the thing with Wood is you don't want to play him against Liverpool. That's like pretty much a guaranteed blank. I know that's the only
Yeah,
team that's beat Liverpool so far, but he's gonna
but you
blank in
never
that
know.
game
He
most
could
likely.
still like you never know. Kanji, it's not like it's not impossible for him to get a goal versus Liverpool.
Oh my,
They're at
bro.
home. What do you
What
mean? No,
tackling this guy's a god, bro. He's not him, bro.
wait,
Come
1 second.
on,
Are we sitting here act and saying for sure that Chris Wood is not gonna score a goal versus Liverpool? Like it's
bro.
guaranteed.
I'll put him on my PFC just for you. Don't worry. That way.
Wow, bro. Say no
Ooh.
more, bro. Okay, bro. You know what? Say no more. Say no more. Okay. All
Got you,
right.
bro. No problem.
Say no more,
Even
bro.
if they score, it'll be a Lenga or Hudson Odoi or
But I'm
one of
sure
those
we have
wingers.
some people have an eighth attacker, you know. So I think Chris Wood is the one, man. And even if you have to play him versus Liverpool, I think he's still the one. Don't get fooled by the Liverpool fixture, guys. Those guys are not unbeatable. You know, those guys are fragile. Those guys are fragile. Kwanzaa, don't worry. Chris Wood is gonna be in his pocket. Don't worry, boys.
Yeah, if Kwanzaa's there, it changes it. But I'm hoping
Exactly.
Konate is back. There was a positive update in the last press conference.
Yeah.
So there's another press conference in a day or two. So we should get an update on like Konate's fitness.
Yep. Should we move on, Kanji?
Yeah. Wood is a great option, I think, for most people
Yeah.
in that situation.
All right. The
Sure.
best Bruno replacement, because I know a lot of people went there
Bruno
for Saka.
replacement. Yeah, maybe because of the suspension and all of that.
Well, they got Liverpool and then United are in the mud, and then obviously people might want to get rid of him because there's likes of Gordon, who's got really good fixtures, like so Mbemo, somewhat fixtures turning, Ez's fixtures are turning. You've got the likes of Martinelli, has great attacking fixtures. He just scored today. Odegaard obviously turns out to be a bit of a flop, but you also have
No,
sorry,
change
Kenji.
that. No, you should change that from Bruno replacement to best Odegaard replacement,
So
bro.
Odegaard replacement, or maybe that's for next
Yo,
week, bro.
you guys are killing me in my soul right now.
Nah, like the thing is with Bruno is if you've brought him in, like Bruno was a lot of people's Saka's replacement, and Bruno, when they made that decision, they knew the fixtures weren't good in the short term. It was a long term play. It was a safe play because he's got pens, 90 minutes, etc., etc. So what's changed? In my opinion, nothing because he was just banned. So we don't know if he then gets dropped for the red card. I'm pretty sure Amram will bring him back in. After this fixture, the fixtures will be good. Like nothing's changed based on your decision when you made it when Saka was injured. So
Only
it's a
thing that's
long.
changed is that we are still in the mud and we're not seem to be improving, and we haven't scored a goal in the last 3 or 4 games.
Nah, but Bruno's been getting mad points before that red card. That's what I guarantee. That's what made people make that decision in the first place. He was in form in terms of getting points.
I hear you, but I mean, I know for a fact people are trying to plan to get rid of him because there's new shiny toys in town. You know how it goes, man.
Makes sense.
You know how it
I
is.
don't know.
Yeah.
People,
I don't know, man. If you like, for me, someone who brought Bruno in is someone who plays very safe, and hence why they picked Bruno. So I can't imagine they'd want to all of a sudden replace him just because he got a red card. If they've still held on to him for that red card, why would you then sell
Why
him?
would they sell him now?
because
I
of
mean,
the
he's playing
Liverpool,
Liverpool though.
because he plays Liverpool, and the fact that Gordon plays Tottenham, the Mbima plays Southampton, the Martinelli has really good fixture run. Like people will do that. People are impatient, bro. It's just you know.
Like that's the perfect differential spot to climb rank
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
spot. Like,
And
that is the
people are
spot
looking
to
at
climb
United and our performances. They're thinking, yeah, these guys are not turning around. I want to get rid of these guys. And
I wouldn't have,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone Bruno from the first place, but I suppose if I'm looking at a replacement now, I think obviously a lot of people will be hot on Gordon, but still I don't like the double up. I get Tottenham's a great fixture though, so
yeah,
could be a good punt for a few weeks.
some people might not have an
Mm.
Arsenal mid. Would you go for Martinelli if they didn't have any?
They do seem like Martinelli fixtures. Brighton, Spurs, Villa. No, he does like to run in behind. I'd
And
say the front
also,
three are better
mm,
in these fixtures as opposed to Odegaard. Odegaard's not going to run in behind, is he?
would you
Mhm.
still buy Son or a Foden, or you think that's a bit no,
No.
no,
So
fair enough.
Foden's not long term, and I'm as a Foden owner, I'm concerned after watching that game versus Leicester. Leicester's defense is terrible,
Fine.
and Leicester had more possession, outplayed them. To be honest, Leicester should have scored. Foden came off early, and his replacement cooked for the second goal when he came on, and he looked bright. And I know the City fans want to see more of
What's his
him.
name? The young guy. What was his name?
McAtee,
He was
And
playing in the Premier
obviously,
League before, I think, on another
I
team.
think it was Sheffield. Could be wrong
Okay.
last season. I could be
last
wrong.
question: if there are people wanting, because obviously, what's it called? Palace have a really good fixture run. Who would you prefer between Sarr and Eze? If they're obviously downgrading Bruno, they have enough funds to go to either one. Would you guys prefer out of the two?
Saar has more goal threat. Eze's got more routes to points.
Okay, Kanji, because I know
There you go.
you're a bit high on Eze.
That's the perfect answer. Basically, like if you look at the XG threat, it's actually Sar because he becomes like a second striker. As they has like the free kicks, the corners, and 50% pen share, and he's just their best player. And so I'll be
For,
honest.
for me, my favorite replacement is Gordon, even if you're doubling up on Newcastle. I would go that's safest. And if I was to go second, it's probably Mbimo. That's the second safest. Diaz is a punt. Foden is a punt. The likes of even Son is a bit risky. I don't think he's worth the money. If you wanted a Spurs attacker, you go for Kulusevski. And from Arsenal, if you wanted any mid, it's probably Martinelli. And from Palace, I think that save of you save what 0.7 or 8. I think Sar might be worth it because that money could come in handy somewhere else. Otherwise, if you have unlimited funds, I also don't mind Eze, but I would slightly prefer Sar.
What
Um,
about the
yeah,
third Liverpool spot? Diaz versus Jota.
that one I have no idea, man. I genuinely have no clue. And that's why I'm not recommending people. I'm just saying it's a punt
No,
ultimately.
but there are people that are like 100% set on having that third spot there, and they're just trying to
Mhm.
decide between Jota and Diaz. For me, I wouldn't put myself in that position right now. However, if you are going to do that and you just want advice on who to go for between Jota and Diaz, I think if push came to shove, I think in this current situation, I'd probably go Diaz. What about you guys?
I'm gonna sit on the fence. I have no idea. I
Yeah,
genuinely don't.
I
Honestly, I genuinely don't know.
I just think Diaz gets more minutes in this run. Just go
The thing,
Diaz.
the thing is with going, my issue with doubling up on Liverpool attack for the double game week, because I think that is the play people are going for. My issue with that is surely one of their attackers is only going to play one of the games and then 20 minutes of the other one. And one of the fixtures anyway is Sean Dyche away at Goodison Park, which is not, the best
Yeah.
fixture for attackers anyway. So like, by the way, I'm actually thinking of captaining Trent in that double game week as opposed to Salah.
Yo, Stark has lost it, man. Stark has fully
How have I
lost it.
lost?
He's
How have I
lost
lost?
it,
Damn,
bro. Nah, I
bro.
have to, bro. No, bro. The week
He's
before you wanted to
cooking.
captain Trent, bro, versus Leicester at home, and Trent got 1 point. Come on,
Wait,
bro. Come on.
who wanted to captain Trent?
You was joking about it
No,
or entertaining it. Yes, versus Leicester at
no,
home.
no way, bro.
Yes, bro. Yes.
No, I
Come
was
on.
never. I was testing Kanji, bro, because Kanji wanted to do
Yeah,
it.
he was
You
testing my
guys gotta
resolve. I
stop with that
remember. I
Trent
remember.
captaincy, man. Nah, please don't, man. I don't
Okay,
recommend it.
let me cook. Let me cook, right? No, all jokes aside, the reason why I'm debating it is because I think the clean sheets are lock in the Everton game. So I think he
Yep.
automatically gets 6 points, and I think he can get it. I think he can outscore Salah in that game week, in that game specifically.
Yeah.
Then the other
Yeah.
game, depending on which one it is, bro, Trent could have had 30 points in that game just gone if Salah didn't cost him.
Yeah,
So
Salah
and
would have
Salah
also
would have
had
had like
30 points.
40.
of course, right? But my point is, I don't. I think if Trent outscores him in the Everton game and gets attacking returns and another clean sheet, Trent's getting a good haul himself. He's getting a good 30 points.
Yep. I mean, that's why you just own both and then just captain Salah though. basically like what I've learned, like this is basically what I've learned. Like after being burnt for the past 2 seasons in a row, I've like just for context, by the way, like when I did my season review last season, my three main things that I wanted to improve on were I took 16 hits last year, so I tried to reduce that. I'm on track to do that, and I want to save my second wild card for as late as possible because I went early around game week 22, 23 for my second wild card, so I'm gonna do that as well. And then my last thing I wanted to improve on was just captaincy because I was in the bottom 3% of the entire game for captaincy points last year. And somehow that's the one thing I haven't improved on. Like I did my like review of my season so far. I'm still in the bottom like 3% or whatever it is. And that's because like I was honestly captaining Salah. Sorry, I was captaining Saka and Palmer a lot. And I got a haul, but I'd get a blank. And like
Yo, Kanji, can
I
you see
just
my hat,
went
by the
against
way?
Mo a lot. What does it say? What does it say?
Yo, stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap, man. Stop the cap, man. Yeah.
when
Stop the
when I
cap,
s-
man. Stop the cap.
when listen. When I say these things, these are not suggestions for other people. This is me and the way I like to play. I don't
Oh,
expect
but that's
anyone.
cool. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
expect
Just speak your mind,
anyone
bro.
on the planet to endorse my play or strategy. Everyone plays their own way, and ultimately, this is what gives me fun when playing this game. So, like, I'm just something I'm considering, and the reason
No, it
behind
is
it, I think, has
like there will be people that will do this. I'm very confident. There's gonna be 1% of the game that will do this. People that go for like Diaz and Jota plus Trent, I would back Trent to outscore Diaz and Jota on the double. So there's gonna be people out there that do this.
No, but if Bradley's back, I'm not doing it. Of course not. If Bradley's fit, there's no way I'll do it. But if Bradley's still out and Trent looks like he's going to get 90 minutes, and considering one of the fixtures Everton, which has been a lock for every team getting a clean sheet, then I think he outscores Salah in one game, in my opinion, and then the other game, clean sheet attack in return, he's gonna, let's say Salah, like in a just a crazy world, Salah doesn't get a return. Like you're cooking, but obviously the reverse is you get destroyed by Salah. Is what it is. You took
It's
that
just
this week, and obviously you got your ass cheeks clapped by Palmer. Like it is what it is.
The
I
worst
I,
one.
I captained Salah this week, boys. You know when I took Salah on with Kulusevski, who won? I won. Yeah, I picked my
yeah,
moment.
facts, bro.
I picked my moments, B.
Yeah. Bro, Salah has destroyed me.
Oh my god, bro. All right, should let's move on now, bro. Let's move on. We ain't captaining fucking Trent, bro. Come off that shit, whatever y'all's drinking, bro. Get off that shit right now, bro. Hey, quick one
Bro, I
here.
love Trent, and I don't even think I'm gonna do that. Salah is just a
Yeah,
god this year.
It's game week
And
25. There's 5 game weeks. The landscape can change. It's just something I'm thinking about because of the Everton fixture.
fair enough.
yeah, that's fair. That's
All
fair.
right. Double Arsenal attack or defense, boys. Let's do it quick though, because we already discussed this in the
Ooh.
past.
Double
Uh,
What do
defense.
you think?
well, me, I think I don't think I would want double attack, bro. Never. I don't think so. It's just that the narrative is in the obviously within the FPL community is currently when I'm talking about the big content creators, the likes of Andy and others, they are considering maybe potentially getting off the Arsenal a double and triple up due to the fact that the fixtures are getting tough. And as we saw, Brentford did end up scoring today. And then they have Brighton away next, along with Spurs, Villa. I do see that there is a small chance of them keeping one clean. I don't see them keeping, too much clean sheets in the next, I don't know, 10. How many clean sheets do you guys see? Maybe 3 or 4 at best. Leicester, West Ham, and Wolves, maybe. The rest they potentially concede. So is it worth keeping triple, double Arsenal defense, or maybe it's worth maybe having one Arsenal attacker and one defender, or double attack? For example, Meerkat, for example, he has double Arsenal attack. So and he paid off this week. He had Martinelli and Jesus. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna pay off against Spurs for sure. And there's a chance Mitoma or Joe Pedro do something on the counter versus Brighton because Brighton are at home. I always back Brighton to score at home. So
The
I
thing,
can't see double defensive to play. It doesn't make sense.
the thing with this graphic is it's not updated, so it's kind of unfair to show it to the audience because
Apologies, yeah, apologies. The graphic for the
don't pay attention to that graphic with regards to open play and set piece XG because it's not up to date.
yeah,
Because Liverpool are top right now from open play XG, 100%. They've scored
yeah,
like 14 goals in the last 3 games. So
yeah.
and Salah's missed
Yeah.
about 10 sitters. Benji in the chat says, "I don't mind going against Salah, but defender captaincy has been nerfed in bonus." Sorry, who
Not
got 3
Yep.
bonus points the
not
last
for
game?
Trent. No, not for Trent. Not for Trent. Trent is
Who
the
got three?
exception.
Who got
Trent,
3 bonus points last game? Sorry,
Trent
I
and Hall is
forgot.
the exception. Trent and Hall is the exception. Those guys are they're doing everything for their team. They're creating big chances after big chances. They're racking up those big chances. And once they get a clean sheet, they're almost nailed for 2 to 3 bonus points. And I've witnessed that myself with as a whole owner, as well as a Trent owner. So I do think it depends on the defender you're talking about, by the way. Stock.
Yo, Hall is so slept on, by the way. What a great pick he's
And
been.
let's
I
let
haven't
it be
started him
slept
for
on.
like,
Everyone sleep on it. Just sleep on it. Let's not talk
wow,
about it. Let's not talk.
wow, bro, he's cooking.
No, it's a real
Um,
shame that Saka's injured because there's so much value in cheap defenders like
mm.
Hall, Aina, um, Munoz, Robinson, Castagna. There is so many options that you can rotate. It's just
Wait, 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 wait. You said something that hits a really interesting macro point, and you're right. So if you get rid of double Arsenal defense, I actually think you get rid of Gabriel. And
Oh
that sounds
goodness.
mad.
Oh goodness
And it doesn't
gracious.
even make
Stop it.
sense.
Stop it. Hey, bring my cap again.
no,
Hey,
let him
stop the
cook.
cap. Stop the cap. I'm
Yo,
joking. I'm joking.
Kanji, expand. I want to hear this.
No, but because basically there's no one better than Raya in the game. I'm 100% certain you can go to anyone else that's better than him. But if there are so many good value defenders, then why not? If you want to go against the double defense, drop Gabriel instead of Raya. Because at least you can cover the clean sheet. You obviously won't be able to cover the goal threat from Gabriel, of course. But that's the risk you take, right? And if you go cheaper, then you can spend more of the money elsewhere. Like you could go for like instead of having, I don't know, maybe a JP in your team, you could have an Mbumo in your team. Like that's where you could spend some of the extra money. So it's interesting to think about.
I
Yeah.
think. I think. I think you're spot on. With regards to an extent what you just said, because you wouldn't waste a transfer on a goalkeeper position anyways if you already had Raya. And whereas there's actually upside in defenders with Hall that get in attacking returns. So I do see, but
Munoz.
Gabriel's so deadly. I think he's probably the best defender in the game. So if you're gonna sacrifice him, the sacrificial pawn needs to equal results. And I think the one player I think it could unlock is Watkins. And I think if Watkins was nailed and Duran was not, I think then it would make sense. I don't see it being worth it with Mbuma because you could have Gabriel and Mbuma, to be honest.
I just look at it where it's like I see like Brighton scoring, Spurs scoring, and Villa scoring, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. So it's like if you bet against Arsenal defense, like now is the time. Like you leave now, you can try to gain points from Munoz or Nate or Van Dijk or whoever it is that you want now. Because like when it gets to Wolves, Leicester, West Ham on the horizon, there's no way you sell Gabriel. Um, but yeah, it's just like it's one of those where like, you have to be certain that you don't want to go back, or maybe only go back based on your wild card. But that's the one pick
Do you know
in the
what's interesting,
template
Kanji,
that I'm
though?
comfortable going against at this point.
I do see what you're saying, but if they are blanking in 29, then I would consider selling him. Otherwise, I'm not selling Gabriel.
Yeah, well, he's likely gonna blank. I mean, they play Newcastle in
Yeah,
the
but
cup, so it's
Newcastle,
an SE even game. Anything's possible in that game. Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
but yeah,
How
second
much is
leg
Lewis Hall?
is 4.8 now. I'm
So
going
how
for
much
4.3.
how much do you save by dropping Gabriel to Lewis Hall?
I guess 1.2.
So
1.6.
that's like the difference between, I
1.6 is
think
it?
Yeah,
that's the
because he's
difference between
Gabriel's
Enzo.
5.4. That's
So like if you
6.4.
had Enzo, you could go straight up to Eze, for
It's
example.
big. It is big, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it for Eze though.
Yeah, oh man, it's fine. It's all good. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
You can switch your Chris Wood to a Bumo. Like, see what I mean?
y-
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it actually doesn't matter. Like, if you
The only
go,
person which Chris Wood to is Lionel Messi, bro. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Chris Wood doesn't get switched to anyone.
Yes, bro. Come on, bro. Chris Wood gang, stand up, bro. JP gang in the mud, bro. Let's move on.
yo, there's gonna be some New
Oh.
Zealanders that are vibing with that, bro. That's hilarious.
Hey, you guys want to touch on the fixtures or anything, or should we move on to PFC?
Yeah, that slide that you had on the blanks and doubles, bro.
Go for
That
it.
just a reminder that like I did mention this in the previous pod, but I think I misinterpreted it when I presented it. But basically, at this moment in time, there's like a 60% chance that the double's in 25 and a 40% chance that it's in 24. So just wanted to like reiterate that part when you're doing your planning. And Just keep in mind that Liverpool play Aston Villa in game week 29, as well as Arsenal play Chelsea in game week 29. So that's what I'm operating on as my underlying assumptions for who's going to be blanking. Because I still think Liverpool's backup team in the cup can beat Spurs' A team. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm currently thinking. But let's see how things evolve. Like, there's no need to go and jump in early. After like game week 21, we'll already have the first leg of the cup match. So maybe we'll already know who's going to be going towards the final on one of the sides anyway. But
Can you
yeah.
show the fixture ticket, please, quick? I need to
Yep.
make a point.
All good, bro. All good, man.
Right, so there's certain fixtures that have a certain color code in this, and I just have to say, you need to expand. You need to expand your analysis when you look at the color coding, and you can't judge whether a fixture is difficult based on the color it is on the FPL app, because Manchester City is a green fixture for any attacking asset, but you could argue it's a red fixture for defenders. So it depends on what position you're making a transfer or picking to start, based on who you bench and who you bring in. Tottenham as well. That is a green. That should be an flipping luminous green on the screen. That's how easy that fixture is. Like Man United is like a what is Man United a red fixture on the FPL app? Like, don't. All I'm saying is don't judge the fixture difficulty based on the color on the FPL app. Do your own research,
Yeah.
watch the games, and you'll know yourself which fixtures are green and which fixtures are not for attacking assets, and that will give you an edge, because there'll be people out there that just look on the app and go, "Oh, green fixtures, let me bring this player in."
Yep. I did see a couple comments in the chat. So there was Kamar Islim that said Arsenal attack is poor, but I mean they just scored 3 goals this week, and that was without Saka. That was pretty convincing.
It's Khaymer Islam, by the way.
And
It's not my boy. His name is Khaymer. It's fine.
oh, bro, awesome,
Yeah.
man. My
Oh,
bad, bro. And
oh.
and then there was another guy named Michael, and he asked Aina versus Hall. Who would you rather own?
You see, I wanted you all of you guys to sleep on it. Now you guys are gonna force me to speak. Like I want you to sleep on it, like Steph Curry. Night night. Hall is the GOAT, bro. He's Trent 2.0. He's Trent reincarnation, boys. You guys don't see what I'm saying, boys. I'm playing Lewis Hall perma, bro. Trent who? Lewis Hall exists? Trent does not exist. He's going to Madrid. Lewis Hall is going to be the new hot pick of the town, and I'm going to be the one that's, that's starting the whole Trent, bro. That's going to be me. So ultimately, I'm always going to recommend Hall, bro. But there's some bias there because he has returned me 48 points in the last 4 game weeks. Can you imagine, guys? 48 from Lewis Hall last game. They kept 3 clean sheets in a row, Kanji.
Yo, I own him. He's just I bench him every week for like Joe Gomez, bro. Like
Bro,
what the
I
hell?
watched Newcastle, bro.
Happened?
He's their Trent basically. I know it's a bit of a stretch here, but that's how it is. His left foot is so sweet. Every time he put that crosses in, it's always dangerous. And they literally plan and play for that. Like they do their set piece routine, like, and they get him to basically cross the ball in and in sync. It's crazy. So for me, it's Hall, man. I know Ayan is doing good. I know first defense are good, but I think it will be Hall for me.
Damn. What do you
Both,
think, Stark?
own both. I'm
If you
really
had to
starting.
pick one though, like
I'm really,
go into your head, you have to pick one.
it's all fixtures based. Let me have a look.
The fixture's in front of you, bro.
I know. I'm looking.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta find something that rotates with them. I think you can't just perma play them every week, in my opinion. But
I hear you. I hear you. And that's what I was going to discuss actually. Fulham, they rotated really well with Hull's fixture. For example, if I buy Castagna this week, he rotates really well with Hull. Like, you know, what do you think of him?
Mhm. Yeah, and Cassano's actually playing, I think, right wing back. Like he's not even playing like center back, and he's 4.2. So he does have
Exactly.
some attacking threat. He has some
Exactly.
historical pedigree. Leicester, I
Mhm.
feel, actually had like a massive haul with Cassania. So if you've been following Leicester, I feel you already know who he is.
Yeah.
And he used to play, I think, for Leicester in the past. I think with Ricardo Pereira. I could be wrong, but yeah, he's always had some sort of attacking threat from wing back.
Yeah,
But
just to touch on the fixtures, I think the fixtures are kind of, I guess, in the short term, it does favor Forest stock. But I'd say in the middle, I mean, I guess they both have somewhat decent fixture run. Hall maybe slightly better because Hall has 3 home fixtures, 3 or 4 home fixtures compared to,
It's
you know,
difficult, man. Hall has
yeah,
more attacking threat, but
yeah,
I'd say Forest has a better defense. So
yeah.
it's it's a tricky one. I'm really starting to think like the probably the best defense in the game is probably Trent, Hall, Nottingham Forest defender, Fulham defender, Crystal Palace defender,
That's what I'm saying about Gabriel. This is exactly my point.
and then
There you
Raya and
go.
goal. To be fair,
That's my point.
But
This
but
is
no,
exactly my point,
I
bro.
hear you, but no one is as a goal threat as Gabriel though. You can't tell me
Yeah,
another defender is that much of a goal
there's no
threat than
one
him.
like him, bro. But
Yeah,
it's not about it's just the value of the other guys are so strong.
that's
yeah,
the
It,
thing.
it
You're
just
right.
depends where you can spend the rest of the money. Like
yeah,
Yeah,
he
depends, man.
has a goal threat, but they all have all those defenders have like goal slash assist threat or like goal contribution of threat and clean sheet like on the horizon. So,
I hear
bro,
you.
Mhm.
when I
I hear
first it's
you.
funny because when I first played my wildcard team in wildcard 3, I didn't have Gabriel, I had Trent. So I was originally on that, and then I switched to Gabriel when
But
Trent
can
got
but,
injured.
but can I mention something though? With Bournemouth, I think they're a good attack. With Brighton, I think they're a really good attack. Fulham, I also think they're a decent attack. Newcastle, definitely good attack. Arsenal, Man City, like okay, after Wolves and after they get played, Wolves and Southampton, I guess those are two clean sheets. I don't know if I see any more clean sheets after that, bro. I don't know. Not in the anytime
I
soon.
mean, yeah,
But I
it's
could be
just like the
wrong, of
way they
course.
set up, though.
Yeah.
It's just the way they set up.
But
It's one
Brighton,
of those.
Brighton is at home as well, so they might keep it clean there. But when they're playing away, they are a bit more, I guess, compromised, no?
Teams like Forest will keep clean sheet if you have them and rotate them
Hmm.
with all those. That's the luxury of having that defense. You have the luxury of basically targeting the most optimal fixtures because you've got such an illustrious like rotation of attacking assets like Munoz,
Mhm.
Robinson, Hall, let's say, and Milenkovic. Like you're not gonna if one of them has a shocking fixture, they're not starting. And at the same
Yeah.
time, if they do have to start because you've got an injury, not in the Forest as the defense, you could start. And you know what? There's always at least 25% of a clean sheet, no matter what the fixture is, due to the way they set up.
I
Yeah,
agree.
but
You're
that's the
right.
thing is the counter to this point is bro, Konate is actually getting you the best clean sheet percentage in basically every week, or top two or top three in every week, and he's 5.1, and he's basically gonna start every game when he's fit. Like Joe Gomez is not gonna play any games. Let's be realistic, and Kwanzaa's not playing any starts anyway. Like it's bro, we're trying to win the league. Like until the league is done, I think Konate starts every game,
That's
and
why.
that's what the coach has done.
That's
So.
why my original plan was to go to that defense and have Konate, but Saka out forced my hand with Trent.
I think we touched on
Yeah,
that enough. Can I switch the conversation to one last topic before we move on to
of
PFC?
course,
And we'll
yeah.
be quick with that. What do we do with Chelsea? I said because a lot of us are already doubled and tripled up on them, and recently they haven't been impressive. And the talk is recently, obviously, do we load off the likes of Jackson, the likes of Enzo, and even maybe some of the defenders like Caldwell because they've been quite disappointing. Even people on Sanchez, he's a rotation risk. And yeah, what's your thoughts on general? What do you do with Chelsea assets now?
Um, I wouldn't be triple up anyway, but if you are, I
And
would I would look to maybe get rid of at least one and like hedge your bets. The fixtures are great though, so
mm,
the set Chelsea. You just
Man
need
City's AAO. Don't get fooled by the color of Man City too, right? You gotta say that.
no. Man City's a great fixture, but even if like let's say I had no Chelsea assets and Chelsea had five of the best fixtures in the Prem, I still wouldn't triple up on one team. That I don't think that's an optimal approach to playing FPL,
Mm.
unless they're playing lights out 8-0 every game, like under prime uh Ancelotti when Drogba was scoring hat tricks every week. Like I don't see that being the case. Chelsea can struggle this season at points. Look what we're doing now.
I
Bournemouth's a
mean,
difficult
bro,
game.
you have to argue. Like, this is the thing. I really feel for Chelsea, bro, because they played Everton, they played Fulham. The Ipswich game was the one that shocked me because I even captain Palmer and the blank that hurt. But they created enough chances to score. Like, he hit the post twice. The goalie made a good save. Like, like they played well. I think the one thing that is the most disappointing is the defense. Like, anyone that owns like a Colwell or like a Sanchez didn't even play. Like, why do you own these guys? Like, get rid of them, in my opinion. Like, the value picks of like Hall, Robinson, and Munoz pick themselves.
Yeah,
And the
100%.
one thing I have to say is like, there is a hidden gem in this team. His name is Mark Cucurella, bro. He's actually a fire pick. I have looked at his games, I looked at his highlights. I really tried to put him into my team, but I just don't trust his defense. Like Cucurella is the type of pick next season, I think I'll try to be there because I think Chelsea needs to sign a new goalie, sign a new center back, and the attacking threat in his positions are just incredible, right?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. 100%. I think you said it perfectly. Next season, I will be there when our defense is actually serious. But Anselmino, the young gun from Argentina, has just joined us, and you can't expect anything from a young player like him. But if he comes in and we look more solid, then maybe Cucurella becomes a viable option, another attacking cheap fullback who has a lot of threat and enables you to invest more in midfield and attack.
Not this
Ju-
season, bro. Not this season.
Just to round
You
up,
guys don't have the
so
center backs.
would you say Jackson is a hold if you own him?
Yeah,
Enzo, if you have him, do you sell him if you have luxury transfers, or keep if
No,
you don't have luxury transfers?
keep Enzo. Keep Enzo. I actually
En-
like him, bro.
Enzo
Like
should
he
be an
had,
attacker who's benched and comes on for
yes.
rookie sub points.
Okay,
Yes,
no
he's
problem.
perfect. You keep him in a rotation. Like he's a good player. Like, bro, yo, K-man, I always talk about like the cheaper mids, and you've always been so high on Enzo, World Cup winner. He's a quality player. He has the set pieces. He had like very good
Yeah,
XGI this week again. They have a good fixture in West Ham at home coming up. They have a good fixture in Southampton at home, Leicester at home. He's gonna bag in 2 of those 3 games, and he'll be your differential. So he could help you climb rank if you want him.
yeah. Interesting something Tinker mentioned. He said that he bought in Hall at 4.3, and Sherrod is their best defender and is out now. Spurs will score, he thinks. I think so too. But I think Hall has the potential to get attack and return, and that's a good thing about having those defenders. So if I had Hall, I wouldn't be stressed about them considering a goal because I know there's always a potential for him to get attack and return. And the best example is Robinson. Look at him; like every week he's taking along with an assist. So yeah, moving on
Yeah.
to the PFC for game week 18. Just to add a caveat, sorry Kanji, you can add the caveat because we didn't do the pod last week. So
Yeah, basically like we skipped a week of the PFC, but like this is the best section of the pod, by the way. And so if you guys have your PSPs going into game week 20, drop it in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But looking at what we did 2 weeks ago, we had Cayman, Stark, and myself. We all got 2 points. I went for Odegaard as my punt, and he hasn't delivered since I brought him in. Smith Rowe flopped, like he's just not that good in the bigger games, and Salah's just been so consistent for me. Do you guys remember your PFCs?
Yeah, yeah. Due to merit of order, I was forced into picking Martinelli. My actual punt was Jesus, as I brought him into my team. But obviously, K-Man got more points than me last week, so he went before me. Martinelli flop. Haaland flopped, missed the penalty. What a flop pick that was, by the way. Oh. And then
Insane. You should get double points for that, bro. It's insane. The
captaincy
man got a 0, bro.
captaincy Mo Salah, man. Like the reason why I picked Haaland there is because people were bringing him in when Saka was injured, and if I was in a space, I would have recommended not to bring him in. Too much change in structure. It's going to cause too many transfers. He's not in the form. City aren't in the form. He costs too much money, and so that's why I was picking him as a flop. And I still think the same thing.
for me, it was Jesus because obviously, I also bought him in my team. I wanted to get a bit, I wanted to spice it up, bro. Shout out to Sharik. Yeah, and then I had Guardiola as a flop, and he did flop. And then you had Salah, captain. You can't go wrong with him. So we all were on 2 for 2. So it was
100%. Do we have an
pretty good
updated
week, I
ranking
guess.
of like
Yeah, we have the
overall?
ranking. Yeah, yeah. There we go.
Ooh, so what's the ranking looking like? So Stark and I are tied at the top. Cayman, you're not too far away, bro. It's literally like 2 good weeks and us having 2 bad weeks, and you're right there, bro.
Yes, bro. It is what it is, man. I'm just trying to climb, bro. Just like Manchester United trying to climb out of relegation battle, basically.
But Stark got the priority for this week. So why don't you walk through your PSC for this one?
Punt Foden under 10% owned. Lopetegui still not sacked. If Foden starts, I've got him in my team. I think Foden can potentially, with a full week's rest for City and a win under their belts, I think Foden hopefully can provide some goods in that. I think it's a good fixture to target. He's a good player, and hopefully flop JP against Arsenal. No brainer, bro. No brainer. Captaincy, I've gone with Salah. Midfield, multiple routes to points. But just to say, if you follow the roundtable account on me on Twitter, Stark, I'm not 100% on that, and I might be captain Isak. But 60% in favour of Salah right now.
Nice, nice, nice. So for PFC for me, I went second. So captaincy, Salah, no brainer. Flop, Pedro Porro. I mean, he's playing against Newcastle. They have no defense. Like, bro, come on, man. So that's obvious. And then the punt is going to be Cody Gakpo. Now, this is the one where I don't even know if he's going to start. This is the thing when you go for a Liverpool player as a punt. But he's been in such good form. And I just think he deserves to start. And I think he's going to cook Manchester United. Like we saw what we did to them previous season, 7-0, you know? Just poking at K-Man right now. But yeah, so I think Gakpo can return. I really liked him as a punt this week.
I got Ayobi as a punt. I think he's got Ipswich at home. I think this is the time when he, returns the favour for his owners who did buy him for his great fixture run. I think Ipswich are a fixture to somewhat target because their defence is suspect, although Chelsea didn't manage to score many goals. And they actually kept clean sheet. They didn't score any goals at all. So I still think Ayobi can maybe, return the favour for his owners. And I've got Bruno as a flop. He's playing Liverpool, to be fair. It's a no-brainer. And got Salah captain.
Yeah, bro, Bruno flop. I love that, bro. I wish I picked that myself. Damn, you got me.
You see, with regards to the Ipswich, the recent two fixtures, I've noticed that they've got a centre back called Wolfenden, who's come in, and I remember from Football Manager and Coventry, he was a player for Coventry in their like last season. I'm pretty sure last season or 2 seasons ago, Championship playoff run, and I think he's quite a solid centre back on his day. And I think he's proved that in the last two fixtures from an eye test perspective. From me, I think he's played quite well. So maybe their defense can be a bit more solid with him, and he can maybe help them stay up and get more points.
Yeah, I do want to mention though, like JP in the more difficult games, those more difficult games suit him because teams will actually leave more space in behind. But anyway, let's see what happens.
Let's see what JP does versus Arsenal. We'll be there. I'll be there. I couldn't pick him as
Yeah.
thingy. Stark took my thingy flop. By the way, Stark, I wanted that flop, but you took it from me. But it's all right though. I took your punt last week. You took my flop. It's all right. We can still switch if you want. I think that the bum JP is gonna flop. But anyways, moving on to game week 19 team review for my boy Kanji.
All right, so game week 19, it was a vibe. Got a 100K green arrow, but I just wish I captained Mo Salah. I mean, I've just been overcomplicating things. I'm like 120 points behind first place in my mini league. I'm sorry, I'm 100 and like 175 points behind first place in my mini league. I'm 110 points behind the top 100K goal. So a lot of ground needs to be made up in the new year. I mentioned it earlier, but my captaincy has been in the bottom 3% of all FPL measures this season. So I need to improve that. And my bench points have put me in the top 10%. So I've benched so many points. I mean, look at the bench this week. It's ridiculous. So I just need to improve those 50-50 benching decisions, as well as just being better with my captaincy. I'm going to be captaining Palmer or Salah every single week for the rest of the season. I already made a deal to myself. Like, there's nothing to really mess around with. Midfielders are ridiculous. They get all the bonus points, get the extra points. So I'm going to be doing that. I brought Eze in with my one free transfer. I sold Enzo. Enzo blanked. We had a lot of chances. Eze had a few chances, then he scored. Thankfully, that was a massive swing. A lot of people went to Sar. I'm glad that they did. I don't want to be talking up Eze, so I really love him as an FPL pick. I've got JP as my set and forget for the entire season. Same with Isak. I was high on him. Lovely to see him become a template pick. Wood is there. Happy to own him. And then eventually I want him to become Cunha later on. Salah, Palmer, those guys are consistent as is the differential, and Odegaard is the one. He's the one that's disappointed me so far. He's the one that I have to keep an eye on, but if I'm honest, I don't have any plans to sell him. I actually love him as a player, and now he has the penalties as well. We noticed he wasn't on the corners, which was a little bit of a disappointment today. 1 year he took them, but hopefully that 1 year guy doesn't get too many minutes. I guess we'll see. I mean, Arsenal are desperate at this point. They don't really have a right winger, and he played well, so I'm sure he'll play. Looking at my defense, I've got Trent and Gabriel as well as Raya. So those three are the picks that are really good long term. And then Gomez. Jeez. The guy, literally, bro, I've had 2 times Liverpool have screwed me. I had Trent where I owned him versus Aston Villa, where Liverpool kept it clean, and then I got nothing because he was subbed off injured. And the same thing with Joe Gomez now, where he got subbed off after 20 minutes with an injury, Liverpool kept it clean. So I'm looking at Joe Gomez now, and I wanted to ask you guys, like, this is the question I wanted to say is like, what is the right move in this position? Now, I do see that Liverpool, like attackers like Luis Diaz, Gakpo are there, but that's not really my cup of tea. If I went to another asset that was a defender, it would be either Konate or it would be Allison in the Raya position. What do you guys think?
Raya to Allison is sideways, and it's a waste of a transfer. There's no upside in that move. Gomez is obviously an issue for you. He was never a long-term pick, and I think there's two. So we've already spoke about how many options there are. Pick your poison. You've got Castagne, Robinson, Munoz, Aina, Milenkovic, Murillo. There's so many options. Like honestly, whatever one tickles your gut instinct and your fancy and how you perceive the fixtures, you've got to pick one of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to wait for an update on Konate. If he's fit, it's a no-brainer for me because I want him long term. And also, like, United don't have the best attack at the moment. And if I look at Hall's fixtures are so good in the next 5 weeks, I can genuinely play Hall every single week for the next 5 weeks, except for this week. So it's unfortunate where Gomez picked up the injury. Kim, what do you think on Gomez replacement?
I'm in the same boat as you. I don't have a fourth good defender, so I basically have Greaves and Burgess. So we paired practically with the same bench. But what makes you think that you don't want to play Hall when he has got 48 points in the last 4 game weeks? And let's be honest here right now. No, let's be honest. If this was Trent, would you be hesitant at all to start him versus Spurs?
No
Not a
chance.
second thought. So why are we having a different picture for Hall? Why is there discrimination? That's all I want to know. I want fair criticism, guys. I don't want no bias here. My boy Hall deserves his credit. I would not be losing sleep to start Hall. Ultimately, we do have like the likes of Gabriel, Trent, and Raya, really strong backline. Anyways, mate, you can't have a perfect team every single week. And I'm happy to start Hall if that means that I have to roll for, if I can save a transfer and get more information. One thing Stock did
Mm.
mention on a space though, I have to say, is that he said in January there could be signings made for various teams. So the likes of Castagna being an option, and other players, there could be new players becoming an option for other teams, which we might want to own. And when you have those extra transfer backed up, we can obviously use that to bring those players into our team. And that's something I like, as well as the fact that we're not sure what the blank game weeks will be come game week 29. And we might have to get rid of some of our triple Arsenal, some of our triple Liverpools and triple Chelseas and whatnot. So there's a lot of fires to put out and to prepare for that blank game week, especially if you're a manager who doesn't want to use a free hit. So in that sense, Kanji, if you are set on using a free hit in game week 29, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.
Then you can obviously burn as many transfers as you want. But if you're not, then I would advise you to roll, because playing Hall versus Spurs is not the worst idea on planet Earth. And we know how poor they
Um,
are from defending set pieces. And for sure, there is a potential for him to get an attacking return, even if he concedes.
I'll be
So
yeah, I
shocked.
mean, you can't.
I'll be shocked if he doesn't get attack in return. He plays so many balls in behind.
yeah,
What it was against West Ham where Lewis Hall played in Isak and Isak scored and it was
It's
offside.
offside. I remember I watched it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then secondly, Lewis Hall played a ball to Isak across the box and he was like, it's close from tapping into an open goal. Lewis Hall will create a lot versus that. He'll put balls in behind. Isak will get onto them. Gordon will get onto them. Like, I know they've got Shah out and obviously he's a great defender for them. And obviously Tottenham are a great attack, so there will be goals in it. But come on, man, Hall takes some set pieces, doesn't he?
yes, he does.
yeah,
I have this question, by the way: is it guaranteed the Ipswich won't score versus Fulham? Is it guaranteed stock? It's not guaranteed. Fulham have been conceding this season. They haven't kept that many clean sheets. So even if you were to buy the likes of Castagna or these cheap guys, there's no guarantee, Kanji, that those guys will give a clean sheet. And meanwhile, you
yeah.
you bench Hall again, and he gets another 6 pointer, and he concedes maybe a goal. Even then, he could
He's
still
gonna
get four or
concede two
five
goals.
points.
And,
Yeah,
and one
Yeah,
one thing to note, Kanji, is you might not want to take on the Tottenham attack, right? However, you are. You don't own a Tottenham attacker. So there's people out there like me that has a Tottenham attacker, and I'm starting them because I don't own a Newcastle defender. So I'm
mm,
taking K-Man and yourself on, who have Newcastle defenders in their starting 11 with a Spurs attacker. So if Tottenham attackers score and Newcastle concede, it's not this. It's like this in my favour. Whereas if
yeah,
you don't start Hall and they keep a clean sheet, you don't own Spurs attackers. So you're not getting the Spurs points from attackers, and you're not getting
mm,
the clean sheet from the Newcastle defenders. So like you're in this position, you have to play it out. Like just start him. He has a lot of attacking threat. And at the end of the day, would you be so surprised if they kept a clean sheet? Like it's not something
Botman is
that's
back as well.
possible.
Botman is back. Even if Shara is out, Botman and Burn can play centre back. So what's the problem?
I'm not keeping a clean sheet. But yeah. And let's put it this way: if Kanate is fit, I'm just using my transfer. I'm bringing him in. So I only have one free transfer out. Everyone else is fit, so I'm fine. But I agree with you guys. If Kanate is not fit, I'll rule, and I'll put myself in a position to decide on the triple Liverpool next week.
It's not even the worst idea to start Greaves.
Or Greaves versus who?
Fulham
Fulham
away.
away. Damn, bro, you seen this Harry Wilson guy? He's been scoring every game.
Yeah, of course. But all I'm gonna say is, like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if if they keep a clean sheet in a different world. Like, I just think starting him's more valuable than
If I had Leaf Davis, bro, I would have done it. I
starting
know.
him and having a free transfer next week is more valuable than making a transfer, in my opinion, this week. Rolling's the most optimal way.
I agree. I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. This is your team. Make a 20 game team selection.
Yeah, yeah. So team looks good. Captain Mo Salah, not going to mess around. His favorite opponent of all time. I know the Man United fans will be like, "Oh, he's not going to score. Oh, I don't want to captain him." Nah, bro. Just captain Mo. Team looks great. Otherwise, it. You know what? If I'm honest, this is probably the worst my team has looked in weeks. I do expect a red arrow this week, but I probably won't get it because most people don't have many good differentials, honestly. So this is where my team looks. The only player I think that's really going to hurt me is going to be like Gordon. That's pretty much it. I think maybe like a Spurs
Yeah.
attacker, maybe a
Yeah.
Luis Diaz or someone like that. Otherwise, no, it's fine. Team looks good. And what I believe is 7 penalty takers. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 6.5 with Eze. But this is the way
Five,
that my team is
six,
looking, and
seven.
I'll
You got
roll for
seven.
sure.
Yeah, you got seven penalty takers.
Sure.
I guess if Eze is on pens, I guess. Yeah, team looks good,
Mhm.
man. Obviously, you can't have a perfect team on paper every week. So, yeah.
Facts,
Moving
bro.
on to your Starks Gameweek 19 team review.
Look at the stars on next to my players, bro. Star boys. Yeah, I don't like my rank, to be honest. I need to improve it. Like, this is why I contemplate all my options when it comes to captaincy and things, because I'm in a mini league, a very big cash mini league, and I know there's a lot of people who tune in and love FPL and absorb as much content as possible because they are also in mini leagues for whether it's for respect, pride, or money, and they want to win them and they want to catch them. Not everyone's going to be number one. Only one person can be number one in their mini league. So you have to try and find your edges to gain rank. I'm 100 points behind the person who's first in my mini league, and I'm 210k. Like, this guy's like top 3k in the world, so I need to find ways
That's
to
mad.
catch. So I look at captaincy sometimes because there will be times where you can take Salah on because Salah's becoming an edge. If you back against Salah right now, like, you could look at it in so many ways. If you just keep captaining Salah in his form, your edges that you're getting these points, and people who go against him are failing and dropping, right? And then the alternative is there are going to be weeks where if you go against him, you get it right, there's massive gains. So at the end of the day, you have to make that decision at some point. And if you're in my position and you want to win your mini league, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to be behind them. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm.
I think that's something we can address like in our next pod would be like a captaincy matrix, an updated one.
Yeah, man. But other than that, happy with the team. Even if you show the next team, I'm happy.
Yep.
I'm not benching Chris Wood this week. But yeah, like I said, my decision is whether to captain Isak or not. But that's me otherwise. All good.
Okay,
That
team looks
that
good.
top left triangle is fire, by the way. 3 complete differentials. They determine your game week.
Yeah, I love it. You got a very good three good differentials. I love it. Moving on to my Gameweek 19 team review. A nice little green arrow. I mean, I was like, I think 30k. I ranked my half. I half my rank again. 16k. I've been going back and forth. Red arrow, green arrow, red arrow, green. I don't know, man. I just can't be consistent. I guess I don't know, man. It's just been poor, but still, I'm happy to be where I am. Um, really good game week. The two transfers I've made, obviously Foden and Jesus, they did pay off, even though Jesus didn't pay off in the first week, but it did pay off now. Really pleased. I think Jesus has actually turned my game week into a glory. Um,
Mm.
Genuinely, and obviously Hall has been hauling, and people have been sleeping on him. So he's been a legend for me. If he keeps this up, I might have to buy his jersey towards the end of the season. And Foden, as Stark already mentioned, he got a jammy assist, but ultimately we did bring him for the fixtures, and he still has 3 or 4 good fixtures left. Let's hope he keeps his place and gets the minutes. Hopefully, there's more holes to come. And overall, really pleased with the game week. And yeah, big fat green arrow. Let's hope there's more green arrows to come.
What are you thinking about the Foden spot and the Jesus spot in the future?
Let's move on to the next slide, and then I can mention it. So this is how I'm lining up for game week 20. I'm starting Enzo currently. but debating whether to start him or maybe sell him for the likes of Murphy. Or I could also get I don't know, a fourth defender by selling Burgess or Greaves, one or the other, and I could just play them. What do you guys think? A Costani or someone like that, maybe. Do you guys like those moves or no?
Say it
No.
again. Sorry.
Or would you guys bring in Castagna to rotate with Hall or play him this week
No.
along with Hall? Because I'm not sure if Enzo is the pick, man. I don't know. I just haven't been pleased with
I
him.
don't think you go to Cassani, bro. I think you go to Konate.
I can, but the thing is, I don't have enough money to go from Burgess to Konate. I can only go from Hall to Konate. But at the same time, I don't want to go to Konate
No.
because
No. I don't think you do it with Hall. I think you keep Hall. And you do fourth defender to Konate and then Foden down.
yeah, but I'm not gonna
Not
bring in
not now.
Konate.
Not now.
Even
Not now.
not even anytime soon. Because I'm gonna get slot, so I don't have plans for Konate or any Liverpool to. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
I'm
makes
planning for
sense.
slot. So
Yeah, okay, so that opens up different avenues now. Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
For Foden, right now there is no clear replacement I've thought about. I think I'm looking at Spurs, maybe a Spurs midfielder the likes of Kulu. That would give me a lot of money in the bank to get slot in. I could go for maybe an Arsenal mid if I sell Jesus, or I could even go. I don't know at the moment, man. It's difficult. Mbimo, it could be Mbimo. I go back to him when his fixtures turn. I think that's probably the most likely scenario to going back to Mbimo. And Jesus is going to be most likely to Chris Wood. If not, let's see if he's a long-term pick, right? It just depends on his performance, if he keeps his place. And if it's not Chris Wood, it could easily be, a Delap if his fixtures turn. But most likely it will be Chris Wood if I move to anyone.
I just
Jesus,
thought about
bro. Like Jesus is that pick where it's on a knife edge. If the
Yep,
moment he blanks in a game, like you're shitting bricks that he doesn't start. But
yep,
every game he keeps getting points, you're just chilling.
yep.
Like he's such a knife edge pick. Like it's either he's great or he's just shit.
And that is exactly the reason why, because I have two knife edge pick in my team. If you think about it, I both Foden and Jesus are those type of picks. That's exactly the
mm,
reason why I want to roll, because I don't know when I need to put out those fires.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
when. It could be any given moment. So I want to have as enough transfers as possible. Me selling the likes of Enzo to a Murphy looks sideways. Me selling the likes of Burgess to get a Castagna for a week or two seems also a bit short term, short sighted. So I'm most likely going to roll as currently stands. What do
Yeah,
you guys
I
think?
do.
yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense. I do think Castagna is at 4.2. He's a nice upgrade. Like they're both 3.9, and you don't really ever want to play them, so you're forced to perma play in Hall.
Yep.
So I do think a Castagna up from one of those spots is just a nice upgrade in my opinion.
Would you do it this week though for free?
Who's Castagna playing Ipswich?
He's playing Ipswich, yeah.
Yeah, man. Why not bench Hall, play
Yeah,
Castagna? Not the worst idea.
yeah, that's true. I'll think about it though. Let's see. It's just what worries me is that both Foden and Jesus could be a risk, right? We don't know. Okay,
Yeah,
Jesus might have another week or two in him, but then what about Foden? Foden getting benched all of a sudden, that's a problem, no?
yeah. Of course, it is a problem, and you're right, 100%. But just to caveat, Castagna could go up to 4.3 and then 4.4,
Mm,
and that rotation spot at that price point changes, and then you're still stuck with Greaves and Thingy.
You're right. You're right.
yeah.
I do think that. Okay, Castagne Anderson for long term, guys. What do you guys think?
Anderson's more long
It's
term.
it's basically you need to have a fourth defender at some point. Whether you go Castagna or you go Munoz or you go Konate, we need someone in there.
I'm not getting Munoz. I just want I want a Fulham defender most likely, but they don't keep clean sheets as well. So at the same time, I'm not sure, and I don't know how I feel about benching Cole.
Yeah, fair.
There's a lot of people that
Interesting.
don't think Foden's going to get benched, bro. And like I can see their point, but I think it's easier to say that when you don't own him. When you own him,
It's a different
and
feeling, yeah,
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 it's like you have no like. There is an element of fear where I don't know.
There is fear.
He didn't
yeah,
play well. I don't think he played well. Like the week before, he played well and he should have got returns, and he didn't. And the week he
yeah,
played shit and got early subbed, he gets a jammy assist. It's just such a fascinating game of outcome bias.
yeah.
Mm, facts, bro.
But
I would
I
say
watch
don't worry.
Newcastle boys. I'm telling you, Hole is something else, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. When I watch Newcastle, literally, bro, That guy, I know Isak is getting the glory. I know Gordon is getting here and there cheeky assist, but the amount of chances this guy creates, it's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous, bro.
Mm,
He's a new Trippier, isn't he? On the left hand.
Yeah,
mm.
bro. He doesn't get
Facts.
substituted at all, and he's basically run to the ground. I'm worried he might get injured, bro. Stop. He doesn't get substituted at all.
He
He's
has a good injury record though. You're good.
No, but he doesn't get subbed at all. That's also a problem because I don't know, man. Because that shows that's a good thing because that shows he's so important for them. But at the same time, like sometimes I wish like 70, 80 minutes they're keeping it clean. Just take him off. I like the clean sheet.
To be fair, I do think Rolling is probably the best player because I personally think the moment Munoz gets his haul, people are going to be like, oh shit, I kind of want him. Bro, he should have had points in that Southampton game, bro.
Yeah,
He's getting
Yeah.
tap-ins from the 6-yard box.
I know, man.
It's
It's ridiculous.
crazy, bro.
It's crazy.
Munoz
Bro.
is so good in his position.
Facts. But
How did he
anyways,
not score that? How did he not score that, by the way?
I'm
I've not
glad
even
he didn't.
about it.
I'm
How
glad
did
he
he not
didn't.
score that, bro? The fucking defender was walking backwards to the goal. He didn't even know what planet he was on. It hit his leg like fluke.
I'm praying every week no Munoz goal because he's template pick. Robinson no clean sheet. That's me
Bro,
every week.
Munoz is like under 5% owned, bro. He ain't a template.
That's true. But thingy is the what's it called? Robinson is really high on.
Yeah, he's become high owned, yeah, for sure.
Really high on. Anyways,
By the way, if you have Foden, don't sell. Just hold a week. West Ham have
yeah,
been
for
horrendous,
sure.
regardless of the minutes.
You want to take any questions from the chat and then we'll wrap it up, boys?
100%, bro. If you guys have seen any in the chat previously, just bring them up.
Stock. Okay, I'm gonna see if there's any questions. Someone asked, did Foden come off with a bit of a knock? Yeah, he did come off with a bit of knock, but he seemed fine and he was kind of angry to come off. So I don't think it was nothing severe, Zubi. And then we've got Guardiola to Munoz in game week 21. Joe asked.
That's
You guys think?
FPL White, by the way.
That's FPL White, sorry, yeah. That's what he asked.
Hey,
So going back to the fixture ticker, I'll go back to the fixture ticker. So game week 21.
I'd want to get off of City defenders as soon as possible. Who you
Game week
replace that
21.
City
They
defender
play
with? I don't
Chelsea.
know.
They play Brentford away. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. What else questions do we have? Have you guys seen anything
Brentford
else?
are definitely scoring, bro. That's a given. So makes sense to me.
Zubi asked on Bruno and JP, who would you start of the two this game week? Probably, I don't even know, bro. You guys pick. Probably Bruno.
Yeah, I played JP.
IBK said, interesting question. Is it worth switching from double Arsenal defence to double Liverpool defence?
If Konate is back, then yes.
But you're sacrificing one Arsenal defender for then two Liverpool defenders. So you're either sacrificing Gabriel for like Trent or Raya for Alisson, no?
Yeah, as long as it's not Van Dijk.
I'm thinking
I just think
Timber
Van
to
Dijk
Konate,
is,
maybe.
yeah, I think Van Dijk is too expensive. So just don't go there. The other ones are good picks.
It says,
I don't like
tempted to
Robertson
move
as
to
well.
Wood, Cayman. I am tempted, but I wanna see how long that Jesus strain lasts, So as long as it doesn't, basically, I think there's a great entry point. It's a good question because what do you think of this start when Arsenal play Villa? Chris Wood plays Southampton. That's a good entry point for him. So if you're looking at Arsenal fixtures, where is it? In 22, Forest play Southampton. I could jump off him if I want to. Then, like if he doesn't impress me in Brighton and Tottenham, like all he did for me this week, he's just getting a return. Is basically he extended his life in my team. Honest to God, he gave me a bit of a cushion. So,
bro, it's crazy, man. When I was watching Arsenal in the first half, I was literally thinking to myself, "Holy shit, I'm gonna sell Jesus at half time, bro."
I know, bro. I was worried too, but
no, because you know what do you know what I don't like about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
He finds himself on the wing, either wing, all the time. Like he's very rarely in the box, like predominantly. He's not like Chris Wood.
That's
he's
the problem.
Always
yeah.
on either wing.
I think he's gone for me in 22 though, bro. Anyways, he's gone for me in 22, bro. I think Chris Wood's entry point is too good then.
Yeah, he could
Southampton
get a
at
hat
home,
trick that game.
Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle. I like all of them, to be fair.
And animations, if you had Mateta, just lastly, if you own Mateta, the fixtures are great. You brought him in for the fixture play to take on other assets. If you then move away from him, you're giving up all the points of the field, and you're not gaining anything. You're just losing.
Yeah, I'll
So
probably keep him. Yeah, for
keep
the
Mateta,
fixtures.
bro.
Yeah,
Let's
I
wrap
wouldn't
it
be
up,
happy
boys.
though.
I
It's
wouldn't
kind
be
of late.
happy either.
And I think we've covered a lot of topics today.
Yeah.
So this is what our 20th pod. This is our 13th pod. Unlucky number 13. Hopefully, it's a lucky one for us going into next week. um, but honestly, like each week, it's been such a vibe. I think I wanted to ask you guys like, do you guys have any like New Year FPL goals? Like something you want to work on going into this year for an FPL perspective, or not really?
I guess improve the quality of content. Try to do something with more with the community. Do like we did something really good with World Cup. Maybe try to come with more ideas and do more of those because that was quite engaging and a lot of people loved it. And we've also maybe do a bit more collab. I think obviously bring in other content creators and bring them to our show and just I guess add a bit of variety to the content and obviously give the people what they want, which is FPL, which is the game that we love so much. So
For sure,
Yeah.
we'll 100% be doing a FPL Roundtable World Cup in 2025. It's a little bit hectic to get 32 players in a group chat, do the draw, send team names, everything when the game weeks are coming every 2-3 days. But now it's going back to once a week. As soon as there's a 1 week gap, I will 100% tweet out, get 32 people, and the winner will get a prize, but we'll decide on what that prize is.
yep.
Yeah, for sure. Makes sense. I think for me, this is more of a personal goal, but I just want to be like at the midway point of captaincy points from now until the end of the season. That's all I want from my season. That's how I know I'll be successful. Well,
For you,
that's
my
what I'm
best
looking for.
advice is can you just perma-cap Salah every week then in that case?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah,
bro.
honestly, yeah.
I might just
Just
do
just
that.
do it. Don't let anyone else convince you otherwise.
Kanji, I think your goal should be don't ever take on the FPL GOAT and not own him.
Oh my goodness. I caused myself so much damage in that time. Oh my God.
Yep.
Like too
Bro,
much damage, bro.
yeah,
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Really appreciate it in the chat. Wyatt, Zuby, obviously Thinking Cap, Benjay, Ben. Um, really appreciate you guys for the being active in the chat. Hopefully we answered all your questions. And if you enjoyed the pod, definitely smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe and comment and share the video. We're doing this for the community just to entertain you guys as well as give you the information. We don't like to call ourselves experts because the game is so much variance and so much luck dependent, but we do like to
Mm.
share our strategies and our plans and our thoughts. If you do like them, definitely follow us. We do have three different minds. We think differently. For example, Kanji is an analytical manager. Myself, I'm more eye test, and Stark is a bit of balanced of both. So we've got the best of all the worlds. So yeah,
just want to
Yeah.
say, Google, we miss you if you're there. You're our number one fan. Show love in the chat so we know you still watch.
yep, for sure, bro. Dougal, bro, and come back on X, man. We miss you on Spaces as well, bro. Shout out to Michael as well.
Um,
Michael's the top three
Hashtag
defender.
wise captaincy. Hashtag you disappeared when you captained JP
JP,
versus South Africa.
man, like Michael's the top three defender. Gabriel, Trent, and maybe Lewis Hall. That's my guys.
oh my goodness.
Everyone that I own is top three, man. Sorry, Michael. There's a bit of bias there. But
Trent
yeah,
Konate.
fair enough.
But yeah, yo, you know what? I just want to say thanks because like we just literally met this season, and so like it's been such a good ride just like between us as well. So hopefully we bring some like positive energy, some good content into the new year. So happy New
For
Year's to you
sure,
guys.
man.
Last shout out FPL Chewy. Follow him on Twitter. He does great threads. He's a
For
big
sure.
fan as well. He gave us a shout out. He does great content. We hopefully would love to do a collab with him one day. To be fair,
Yep.
I think he's
100%.
situated in Japan, so hopefully he
Okay.
appreciates the anime gums if he's watching.
For
Oi.
sure, bro.
Yeah,
Come on.
that'd
Same.
be a vibe, bro.
I think we should do a collab with Meerkat too, as well as Benji. These are guys that are showing us love, support all the time. So it'll be really nice for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
One-on-one chat would be a vibe.
Thanks.
If we
All
did
right
that,
then.
one of us would probably have to drop out, right? It'd have to be like
Yeah.
a
Listen, whoever most likely I will have to be because I'm I'm running everything. I'll have to be in it because I'm running
yeah, it
the
makes
whole
sense.
thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
obviously, one of us like I would just drop out on when we do those. I think it's a
yeah.
smart idea, though.
Yeah, but even I could drop out, but it's gonna be more technical to fit everyone else in because right now it's
No,
all
no,
set
no.
up.
It's easier. It's
Yeah,
easier this way. You control the slides and everything too. You're good.
yeah, exactly. So it just makes it easy. So
That's wise.
yeah, should we wrap it up?
Awesome.
Follow us.
Yeah, but
Follow us on.
Happy New Year's, everyone.
Yep.
Follow us on
Happy
X
New
because we
Year's.
do a lot of spaces. So yeah.
Yep. Follow us on
100%.
X2. Peace
All right,
out.
we'll chat